Yan, hello and good afternoon teachers. No, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat who are all here no watching live our session for today no. So this is once again no our third CPD event. Okay, ayan. Okay. Mukhang kanina pa no ang dami ng mga tanong, mga ano no sa chat natin no. At mamaya po bibigyan linaw po natin lahat 'yan ano yung mga katanungan natin, mga FAQs natin, ano, kasi alam natin ano, kung gaano kahirap din, gaano komplikado, no, magpatupad, no, lalo na ng isang live session training. Okay, so teachers, okay, relax lang po kayo, no, at let's settle down, okay, and I will try to answer, no, as much possible, no, lahat po ng mga katanungan natin for later at yung mga questions po natin, no, regarding our session for today. Okay, so before we start, teachers, no, I'd like to first greet everyone, no, ay good afternoon. Okay, at magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Okay, I will not be able to personally greet no those who are in the chat already kasi ang dami na po no, ang haba na nung ating comment section right now. Okay, so please ano, forgive me kung hindi ko na po ma-shout out na yung mga initial, yung mga early attendees natin. Okay, but of course, no, I'd like to give special shout outs to some people. No? Unang-una po, I would like to give a shout out to Sir Jeffrey Beltran. Okay, kakagraduate lang po niya ng kanyang master in his masters no sa Ateneo de Manila University. So congratulations Teacher Jeffrey, Coach Jeffrey actually no for that another milestone in your career. No? Hopefully, Sir Jeffrey, na magtuloy-tuloy pa rin yung iyong pagbabahagi ng inyong kakayahan no, sa ibang tao. And of course, I'd also like to do a shout out to my father who's celebrating no exactly today po no ang kanyang 63rd birthday. So happy birthday no to my father no and please do know that we always and we love you and will always love you no and enjoy your day for today. For the meantime, kita muna no magsisilbi muna tayo no mag-serve muna tayo sa mga teachers natin through this CPD event. Okay, so teachers, once again, this is our third CPD event entitled Hybrid Learning Powered by Microsoft. No? And this is a 3-day event from today until Wednesday, August 29, 30, and 31 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Okay, so medyo mahaba po yung mga sessions natin, okay, for the next few days, no, okay? And we have divided no our sessions into three components no of hybrid learning, okay? We'll begin with definition, principles, and models of hybrid learning for today. And then on tomorrow, August 30, we'll be having the classroom management and student engagement in a in a hybrid learning setup. And of course, no, dahil nga ang ating event no or CPD event po natin ay hybrid learning powered by Microsoft. No, of course, we're going to have a full session, okay, about how can Microsoft no and Microsoft tools can leverage no hybrid learning especially in our setup no in this upcoming school year or this school year no kasi marami na rin po no, nag-start na ng kanilang school year for this year. Okay? And of course, teachers, no, bago pa tayo siguro mag-proceed with our session for today, sagutin ko na muna yung mga katanungan natin no para sa peace of mind, okay, ng ating mga teachers, no. So unang-una, I'd like to answer the first one, okay. This is a common question ng mga teachers natin, okay. Where do we attend live training? Okay? So again, teachers, para po sa lahat, for everyone's information, from here going forward, okay? Lahat po ng CPD events natin, no, so that we can accommodate as many people as we can. Also, it allows us to accommodate no even those who are not official participants no of the CPD training, yung tinatawag natin mga non-CPD participants, okay? Lahat po ng ating mga live trainings, okay, will be held no sa loob ng ating YouTube channel. So dito po, okay? So every time you're looking for, every time example you natanggap po kayo no officially sa isang CPD event, eto po, dito po natin gagawin lahat ng ating mga CPD events. And of course, for the rest of our community, you're always welcome pa rin. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin po tayo, no? Regardless kung kayo po ay natanggap officially as a CPD participant or hindi po, you can always attend our sessions. Okay, so this is open for all. Okay, so lahat po, no? Basta you're willing to learn, you want to join the session, and you want to to engage no in this event, you can always join. Okay, so please feel free, no? So never magiging exclusive, no, yung ating community. It's always open for. Kaya lang syempre, meron kasi tayong mga limited slots, no, for the CPD program, okay? Kaya hindi po namin ma-open for everyone, okay? So yan po, yung unang-una natin. So hope na hindi na po tayo malito. So regardless kung saan man pong platform yung ibigay sa atin, no? For example, kasi ngayon, binigyan namin ng Microsoft Teams, no, platform yung mga participants natin. Still, it remains that our live training, no, or live training sessions, okay, will be held, no, sa loob po ng ating YouTube channel. Okay? Second question, okay? If live sessions will actually be held, no, sa loob ng ating YouTube channel, okay? Para saan po, Sir Franco, okay? Yung mga yung second platform, okay? Say for example, no, yung first and second CPD event natin, meron yung mga equivalent, no? Google Classroom platform, okay? Ngayon namang third CPD event natin for this particular event, meron naman tayong Microsoft Teams, okay? And teachers, no, yung mga second platform na sineset up natin, okay? That's basically to communicate exclusive information, okay? Especially for example, attendance forms. Kasi hindi po namin pwedeng ibigay dito, no, sa live session natin yung attendance form kasi hindi po ito lahat tayo ay CPD participants, no. Some of them, no, are actually non-CPD participants, okay? So, what we do is to set up an exclusive platform like Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams so that we can communicate all exclusive information such as attendance forms. Okay? Kasi dyan po namin ipapadala, no, yung mga attendance form para yun lang talaga mga CPD participants, no, ang makakapag-fill up. Kasi kailangan po namin yung records and information and data coming from the CPD participants so that we can submit it as a report to CPD Council po. Okay? Okay, next question. Ito na po yung karamihan sa mga questions natin, no? Na kanino ko pa na-encounter sa ating chat, no? What if I have not yet received an invitation to the platform like Microsoft Teams? Answer, for the meantime, take note of the attendance code and complete the attendance form later. To explain, no, bakit po na late yung iba, okay? Let's not forget, teachers, no? Okay? Ang ginawa po namin last time, nagpadala po kami ng 3,000 confirmation letters or letter of acceptance, okay? But upon waiting, no, after waiting for 1 week, okay, only 1,000 of them confirmed, okay? So, ang ginawa po namin, okay, since 1,000 lang yung nag-confirm, nagpadala po ulit kami, no, ng another 2,000 confirmation. So, ibig sabihin, yung pong second batch na 2,000, additional 2,000, no, letter of acceptance, okay, na-delay po ang creation of your Microsoft Teams account. Kasi ang ginawa po ng Microsoft Teams, no, na Microsoft PH, nag-set up po sila ng mga tinatawag na temporary accounts, okay? So that you can access no yung Microsoft Teams, okay? That is being handled no sa loob ng DepEd tenant natin. Okay? So, kung hindi pa po kayo nakatanggap po kayo ng letter of acceptance, pero hindi niyo po natatanggap pa yung inyong Microsoft Teams account, hintayin niyo lang po kasi ginagawa pa po yung iba, no? Medyo matagal po. 2 to 3 days ang paggawa po, no, ng ating Microsoft Teams accounts po natin. Okay? Yan, let's okay. Medyo mahina daw for a while lang po, teachers, no? Okay. Let me also confirm, teachers, if my audio is actually not as strong. Okay. Let me just fix, no, kung hindi po. Okay, for a while. Okay, teachers, let me know if the audio is better. Okay. Ayan. Okay, good. Good na po. Okay. So, ayan, teachers, maraming salamat. Okay? Good naman. Okay, so teachers, okay, so the last FAQ that I would like to answer is that for non-CPD participants, okay, what do we get in attending? Okay, an answer, certificate of participation. So kung hindi po kayo official CPD participant, okay, makakatanggap pa rin po kayo, no, ng certificate of participation. And actually, no, katulad po ng ginawa natin for the second CPD event, okay,
pwede rin po kayong mag-apply for a certificate of completion. Wala nga lang pong CPD points, pero you can have or you can receive an accumulated of 15 hours of training if you applied for the certificate of completion. Okay? So, and teachers, I will not be able to personally answer all of the questions so far in the chat kasi medyo madami po, okay? But we'll try to give a reminder again later on, okay? Ayan. Okay, so now, teachers, let me just give some reminders before we proceed into our session for today, okay? So, ayan na, okay? So, event reminders for everyone, okay? For the official CPD participants, okay? Be sure to join the Microsoft Teams that has been set up by Microsoft PH for this event. Again, kung hindi pa tayo nakatanggap ng invitation and also your temporary accounts, hintay lang po. Let's be patient, okay? Ginagawa pa po yung ibang accounts. So malamang po yung second batch, okay? Ginagawa pa lang. Kung kayo po ay part nung first batch na 3,000, dapat po naipadala na sa inyo yun, okay? Kasi very efficient naman ang system ng Microsoft PH, okay? Siguro lang for the others, pwede rin yung i-check yung spam nyo kung hindi pa talaga natatanggap, okay? Now, for everyone, regardless kung nakasali na po kayo sa Microsoft Teams or hindi pa, please make sure to take note of the attendance code to be given at the end of this session. This is to validate your attendance form, okay? Use the attendance code to complete the attendance form for today to be posted in Microsoft Teams at 7:30 p.m. Okay, so ipopost po namin, i-trigger po namin yung pag-post by 7:30 p.m. Actually, may naka-post na doon. I-open na lang yung link later, okay? The evaluation form at the end of the session is optional for the official CPD participants, but you may also get that, okay? You may also accomplish that, okay? Now, for non-CPD participants, complete the evaluation form at the end of the session to qualify for the certificate of participation. You can apply at the end of the series a certificate of completion for completing all sessions. Please take note for the non-CPD participants for the certificate of participation. Your certificate of participation will be given or will start sending them by September 1 po. Hindi po automatically right after the session. Okay? Ayan. Okay, so again, teachers, that's all for some reminders that I have before we start our session. Okay? So again, teachers, mamaya, pag may mga questions pa rin tayo regarding other things, sasagutin ulit namin later, pero wag na po tayo mag-waste ng ating oras, at i-welcome na po natin ang ating speaker for today who will introducing to us, giving us like a good foundation about hybrid learning, on the definition, principles, and models of hybrid learning. Okay, so let us welcome, papakilala ko muna po siya bago ko siya invite, sa ating stream teachers, okay? Let me first read to you, her bio note, okay? So our speaker for today, Miss Jen is currently the Global Director of Education and Technology for Cypher Learning, a global company that specializes in providing learning platforms for organizations around the world, a passionate educator with more than 20 years of experience in the field. As Cypher Learning's Global EdTech Director, Jen established the company's educational technology centers worldwide: APAC, Europe, Latin America, Middle East, USA. She also developed strategies on client training, LMS implementation, consultation, content migration that is executed globally and helps customers roll out their e-learning implementation plans and initiatives. Her team also develops and designs online courses, resources, webinars to provide clients an amazing experience of the full functionality of the learning platforms. She established EdTech sales adoption process for Cypher Learning along with other business process related to EdTech within the company. Jen established the currently manages 3 departments under the Global EdTech team. The elite EdTech unit, which a client-facing unit that takes care of client training, consultation, implementation, and e-learning integration in schools, universities, and business organizations. The Cloud Cypher Learning division, which functions as the internal training arm of the company whose mission is to educate, empower, elevate the Cypher Learning team's skills and competencies. And the third one, the DART, which digital asset research team, responsible for researching, collecting, curating various digital assets used in the company's platform. Ms. Jen also started the advocacy of disaster-proof education across the Philippines and worldwide. Calamities such as typhoons, earthquakes, and heavy monsoon rains often cause school days and class to be suspended. Jen promotes in her talks and seminars a way by which learning can continue despite weather disturbances using various digital tools and edtech strategies. Jen's educational background, she studied computer science at De La Salle University das Marinas in Cavite, Philippines, graduated in 1988. In 2010, she graduated from Technological University of the Philippines with a master's degree in management and became an educator in June 2010. Before she became an educator, she served the DSLU-D community as the department secretary for 11 years. This experience contributed greatly to her career as an educator. She is also the former director of the Center for Innovative Learning Programs at De La Salle University das Marinas, then leading a team of 5, managing the university e-learning environment, training an estimate of 14,000 students and 700 teachers. In 2013, Jen became one of the Microsoft Education Ambassadors in the Philippines. In 2014, she was selected as one of the Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts worldwide. In 2015, Ms. Jen was chosen as one of the only 2 educators to represent the Philippines in the Microsoft Global Educator Forum in Seattle, Washington. Let us welcome into our stream Ms. Jen Padernal. Hi, Ms. Jen. Good afternoon.
Hello! Good afternoon, everyone. Malinaw po ang aking audio.
Malinaw naman, ma'am. No? Your
Yes.
audio, your
Malinaw po
audio
ang
and video is good.
background.
Yes po,
Very
ma'am. No?
good,
Good
very
naman po.
good. Kumusta po tayong lahat? Sir Franco,
Yes.
kumusta ka?
Okay naman po, ma'am. No? Yan, medyo ano lang, no? Yung mga teachers natin nag-worry about certain logistical matters. No? We'll try to
Yes.
clarify that later on. Okay, anyway, Miss
Don't
Jen, no, siguro
worry.
lang, bago din po tayo mag-start, no? So that we can already start our session no, with you and we can maximize the time, no? And that you have allotted, no, for us today, no? Can you just like give us a short, no? A short overview of what your session will contain, no, and include for this for the following hours of our training.
Yes, dahil mahaba po ang ating oras, marami akong pin-prepare. Marami akong pin-prepare para sa ating mga teachers. Ayan, hello daw sabi ng mga teachers natin. Doon po sa mga teachers na na-train ko na before, magandang hapon. Doon po sa ngayon ko pa lang po mamimit, magandang hapon din po sa inyong lahat. Na-miss ko mag-train sa Microsoft Sir Franco kasi nung pre-pandemic, madalas kami nila Miss Grace magbigay ng mga training sa ating mga teachers. So for today, sa dami ng madami kasi sabi ni Sir Franco hanggang 10 PM daw tayo eh. Kaya marami. Hindi pala, hanggang 8. 8 pala, 8. Yan. So what I'll be sharing, sabi nga ni Sir Franco kanina, it is just gonna be a foundation on how to do hybrid classes. But apart from hybrid classes, I will also be sharing with you ano ba ang ginagawa na din sa industry ngayon. Mga industry practices, kasi more importantly, no, ang pine-prepare natin mga students natin eh. So, kailangan, alam natin, ano ba pinaghahandaan natin para sa ating mga estudyante? Yung future work nila, ano na bang ginagawa sa industry ngayon? So, kailangan ma-connect natin. Nagka-hybrid workplace din kaya? O nagka-hybrid learning din kaya sa industry? So, I'll be sharing about that. I'll be sharing a few framework on how you can get started with hybrid learning. I will also be sharing a simple comparison of blended and hybrid. Kasi I just found out na meron din pong a little bit of confusion about hybrid and blended. So those are 2 different things, which I will also touch on today. Kasi kailangan alam natin ano yung gusto natin. Are we gonna be doing hybrid or are we going to do blended? Minsan kasi sinasabi natin we're doing hybrid pero blended pala yon. So yung session, I really like what Kaagapay is doing kasi this will give us a really clear picture. Isi-simplify lang po natin lahat yan. Yung session natin ngayon, chill na chill session, very light, nothing so highfalutin hopefully. Kasi gusto ko yung session natin, madaling i-apply sa inyong mga classrooms. And then yung session natin, pagkatapos, gets na mga teachers na ay ganito pala yung gusto kong gawin. Mag-hybrid pala ako o mag-blended ba ako. So what I'm aiming to do is for everybody to understand the difference between hybrid and blended. And then after this session and the succeeding session, you can make a decision in your school, whether you're a school leader, whether you're a teacher, an administrator, if you're going to do hybrid or if you're going to do blended. Yan. Ang dami ko pa nakausap the past few weeks kasi nag-ano tayo alam niyo po ba tayo na lang yung last country na mag-face to face? Karamihan po ng mga bansa na or mga school in other countries that I had an engagement with, tagal na po sila nag-face to face. Tayo na po yung pinaka-last. Which I think helped kasi that's how we manage yung spread of the coronavirus, yung COVID. That's how we manage it. So ngayon, that we've already opened, yung ano naman natin, tanong natin, how do we adjust to this after 2 years? So Sir Franco, ganyan tatakbo ang aking session. Hindi pa yan yung formal intro, yun ang aking overview. Ganyan lang natin ganyan ko lang siya ibibigay. And then lahat po ng gagawin natin for today, yung aking structure is pwede nyo pong i-adapt and i-apply na sa classroom nyo. Yung makikita nyo po lahat ngayon, lahat ng gagawin natin, this is something that you can adapt and apply into your classroom already. Pwede nyo pong gayahin yung aking structure if you feel that this will work for you. Whether blended or hybrid, ganun siya ka-applicable. Yan. So yan. Yan ang aking, yan yung what's in store for everybody.
And thank you, Miss Jen, at maraming salamat po. So we're excited, teachers, okay? I'll be in the chat, no? Okay, magki-keyboard warrior po ako sa inyong mga questions, okay? While I'm also listening to Miss Jen, good luck on your session, okay? I think we're ready. We'll just wait for the presentation of Miss Jen in the background, okay?
Ready teachers, na, sir. Meron na nga ulit tanong Thank you, Ma'am Jen. Sa university po namin, madami pa din nagugulahan between hybrid and blended learning.
Yes po. Miss Jen, I think na-unshare po kanina yung inyong presentation. It's not in the background, backstage po ulit.
Okay lang sir, i-close ko muna ang sharing. Okay, I'll start sharing my screen na ulit.
Yes po.
Tingnan natin. Ayan. Kita na po ba ang aking screen?
Yeah, it's here in the background already.
Yan. So ngayon po ay makikita nyo po, tumitingin ako sa left, tumitingin din ako sa right kasi I'm using 3 screens right now para nakikita ko po ang ating chat at nakikita ko din ang aking presentation. So let me just again give you a quick getting started overview of this workshop. So makikita nyo, imagine your lesson plan, like what I mentioned kanina, yung gagawin natin lahat ngayon, even how you're going to design your lessons, but especially when you're doing hybrid learning or even blended learning, pwedeng ganito yung gawin nyo. Ako po kasi, I'm also a teacher. I've been teaching for the past X number of years. I've been in the academy for 20 years. I've been doing a lot of e-learning activities. I'm an advocate of e-learning. I've done hybrid, blended sorts of model of teaching. Na-try ko na po lahat yan. And what I'll be sharing with you, yung mga experiences ko din. So, unang-una natin kailangan gawin, ano ba yung design of instruction natin? So, mapapansin nyo mamaya, dun sa left part ng screen ko, ginawa ko talaga siya purposely na mukha siyang lesson plan para makita nyo din kung paano nyo gagawin. So, you can do this either in Microsoft OneNote. Gumagamit po ba tayo ng OneNote? Pa-thumbs up naman po dyan. Kung gumagamit ng OneNote, pwede nyo itong gawin sa OneNote, pwede nyo itong gawin sa MS Teams. Right? Naka-design na po yung lesson plan ninyo whether you're doing hybrid or blended learning. So, workshop objective natin, what do we want to do this afternoon? Yan. So, I want to share with you how you can incorporate technology in your classroom, paano natin gagawing interactive. I'll be sharing a little bit also of the principles of teaching that I've been using pagdating sa technology integration in the classroom. I'll be sharing about SAMR model. I'll be sharing about the TPAC model. Sway, all of those Microsoft productivity tools, yan. And then I'll also be sharing with you some of the experiences I have as teacher when I'm designing my course, whether that's hybrid, blended, or other models natin for teaching and learning. And then how can you design and engaging activities to promote students with work-ready skills? Please remember na lahat po ng ginagawa natin naka-center into preparing our students to be more work ready. Yan po lagi ang focus natin. We want our students to be more work ready. Yung tipong pag-graduate nila or pagtungtong nila dun sa next stage ng kanilang education, nakafocus sila on what they want to do and how are they going to be prepared for their future work. Kaya masishare ko din sa inyo ano pang ginagawa na sa industry ngayon when it comes to training, when it comes to work, what's the latest trends in the industry so that we know na yung mga ginagawa sa industry, ganun natin ipe-prepare ang ating mga students. Okay? Alam ko po na you probably would say, yes, I already have like a lesson plan that I've been using for the past decade. But that is decades ago na po yun. Kailangan tinitailor fit natin yung ating mga activities, yung ating mga lessons to what our students will be needing and what they will be using when they start working. So yan, isasama ko din po yan sa ating lesson for today. Okay? So let's just take a look back, a little bit of a look back. Ano pa nangyari in the past 2 years? Let's have a quick trip down the memory lane. Nakikita nyo po sa presentation ko, this is created in Sway. Okay? Familiar sa Sway? Ima-maximize ko lang ating screen para kitang-kita nyo. So yan, this is also another way by which another tool na pwede natin gamitin as we create our content, our lessons. You can use Sway. Sino na po mga nakagamit ng Sway? Pwede ko pong makita sa ating chat and comments. May pa-thumbs up po sa mga gumagamit ng Sway. Diyan, pakita natin yung ating mga... Yes, Sway familiar, sabi ni Ma'am Sonia. Yep. Yan. So this is an example of... how you can use Sway to create your lesson. No? Let's just have a little bit of a look back. Ano ba ang nangyari? What happened in the past couple of years? So alam na, nabanggit ni Sir Franco kanina, I am an advocate of disaster-proof education. Since I started teaching, since I started using technology for teaching, I've always been an advocate of disaster-proof education, especially in the Philippines. Imagine in the Philippines, we are visited by typhoon for... more than 20 times a year. Diba? Dati, laging, eto, kabubukas lang ng klase last week. What happened? Nagkaroon ng bagyo, walang pasok agad sa Luzon. So, kapapasok lang natin, wala na agad pasok. And then, in 2020, nagkaroon ng volcanic eruption. Si Taal Volcano, which is only a 20-minute driver, I live, bigla siyang nag-alburuto at pumatok. So, what happened? Those areas that's affected, wala silang pasok. So, a day lost in classes, ang perspective natin, lost day in teaching, lost day in learning yan. Kasi walang pasok eh. But we're lucky because now, we have a lot of tools that we can use to still continue teaching and learning despite all of these calamities that we're experiencing. Ayan, no? Hindi lang 1 week ang naging suspension sa NCR. Matagal nagkaroon ng suspension. And then, come 2019, early 2020, nagkaroon naman ng pandemic. Ano nangyari? We woke up one day, and then the government tells us, we're not going to school anymore. Just have to teach remotely. Most, and I can tell you, a lot of schools, they got caught flat-footed. Hindi alam ang gagawin dahil hindi nagkaroon agad ng initiative na mag-teach and learn using edtech tools or digital tools for teaching and learning. Ayan, sorry, but may binabasa ko din yung chat eh. Ngayon ko lang po nalaman ng Sway. Sir Lay Corvera or Miss Lay Corvera, you can go to sway.com. It's a Microsoft free tools po that you can use. In less than 5 minutes, you will learn how to use Sway. Maganda po siya gamitin when you're creating your content. So going back, nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, nagkaroon ng lockdown, parang nagising tayo, ay hindi na pala ako papasok. So how do I teach? How do I connect to my students? Iba biglang-bigla yun, hindi tayo nakapag-prepare. But those schools who have been into e-learning before, nagbe-blended learning na sila, nagpo-fully online classes na din sila, yan yung mga schools na madaling nakapag-adjust. Okay? Ngayon, ang worry ko as an educator then and an advocate of disaster-proof education, now that school is opening, no, nagkakaroon na tayo ng gradual return to face-to-face classes. Baka mangyari, makalimutan natin na merong technology na pwedeng gamitin. Right? Parang, pwede nating isipin na for the past 2 years na gumagamit ako ng technology, baka naman pwede hindi na ngayon, no? Iba naman. Pero please don't forget na hindi lang yung pandemic yung pinaghahandaan natin. We're a country that's disaster prone. Napaka-disaster prone na ating country, no? Konting galaw natin, either puputok ang bulkan, uulan, babaha, babagyo, lilindol, di ba? Lately, nagkaroon ng lindol. So, lagi nating, it's always good to be proactive. Okay? Kailangan proactive tayo palagi. How can we prepare? Di ba? Paano tayo magpe-prepare na anytime na magkaroon ng disruption sa klase, learning continues? Kasi ang importante dito, no, tuloy-tuloy yung teaching and learning. Tuloy-tuloy yung initiative natin as educators na makapagturo. Make sure that no child is left behind. So the big question is, how can we ensure that we're still accommodating learners and that no child is left behind? That's the beauty of having all of this technology that we're using. Diba? We have a lot of technologies and a lot of different strategies that we can use so that we can still continue to teach and students can still continue to learn. Yan yung mga isi-share natin in the next few days with all of you. And hopefully matulungan namin kayo na makapag-adjust, makapag-prepare now that we have already opened our classes. Again, na-miss niyo ba yung mga punta sa classroom? Kumusta po ang pagbabalik natin sa classroom? Masaya po ba tayo? Kinakabahan pa rin ba tayo? Anong ating feeling? Pwede ko pong makita sa ating chat anong feeling natin now that we're back in the classroom. Masaya, kinakabahan, na-miss natin ang mga estudyante. Ako na-miss ko din po ang face-to-face classes, no? But more importantly, mas tinitingnan ko ngayon is how can I still continue to teach and learn in case na meron ulit mga calamities? Hopefully not another pandemic. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Cher, excited. Hirap din sa pag-a-adjust. So that's normal, no? Normal din na medyo nag-a-adjust tayo. Nakikita ko din, ayan, stressful but quite challenging and exciting. Excited. Yan. Masaya, excited and happy. A little bit scared ba tayo? Nalilito na po kami sa schedule dahil hinati. Ayan. So, I also heard na meron talagang shifting din. Tatlong shift. I have a neighbor here. Pasok yung anak nila ng, I think, parang 5 in the morning. Dapat nasa classroom na kasi may shifting. So, makaka-adjust din po tayo. That's the reason why Kaagapay is here to help everybody adjust now that we're going back to face-to-face. Adjustment is always gonna be there. Parang lang yan parang relationship. Pag bago kayo sa relationship, there's always an adjustment period. Para pag bagong kasal din, di ba, nag-a-adjust din kayo. Pag bago kayo sa relationship, merong adjustment period. May honeymoon period. Gusto ko din yung sinabi ni Sir Ben, challenge yet motivated. And I think our motivation is always coming from our learners. Yung mga learners natin, doon nanggagaling ang ating motivation. And because we already have technology available, titingnan natin what education with technology should look now. 'Di ba? Saan tayo dapat? So meron guide ang UNESCO, meron tayong ICT framework, and I'm sure that everybody, most of you, if not all, probably all of you are already familiar with this. But we have to look at acquisition, deepening, and creation. Ito yung mga focus natin. Understanding of the policy, the basic knowledge, the application, management, and all of the stuff are things that we need to look at. Especially when you want to start doing hybrid learning, nasa na acquisition, nasa na deepening, nasa na ang creation dito sa hybrid learning na gusto natin gawin. Pabalik-balik po ako kasi nakikita ko maganda din yung discussion natin sa comment. Merong isa nag-comment sa amin ni Miss Joanna Faye, masaya po, nakikita mo talaga sa students na nakatutok sa iyo at nakikinig ng mabuti. They are eager to learn kahit halata na sobrang kinakabahan at nahiya sila. Normal sa mga students, no, na parang after 2 years of not being in the classroom, when they come back, merong konting shyness. Nakita ko yan sa aking pamangkin, no? I have a niece. Nung nag-graduation sila, nag-take sila ng graduation picture, nagkita-kita sila face to face kasi para sa graduation photo. Para silang hindi magkakakilala ng mga classmate niya. Sabi ko, naku, bakit hindi kayo nag-hi hello sa isa't isa? So sabi nila, nagkakahiyaan na daw sila kasi matagal silang hindi nagkita. Yeah. But that's normal. So going back, so before I move to the meat of our discussion, always put in mind why we do what we do. Ano yung mga gusto nating ma-achieve? And consider all of this competency framework that UNESCO has, no? Think about acquisition, think about knowledge deepening, think about knowledge creation. Yung ISTE, meron din pong isang organization that's called ISTE. It stands for International Society for Technology and Education. Meron din silang a lot of documents and resources that they're sharing when you want to engage or when you want to integrate technology in your classroom. So ano ba yung mga standards for educators, ano yung mga standards for students, ano yung mga skills na dapat na develop ng teachers and ng educators, no? Yung mga standards na yan, nandun lahat yan sa documents. Hindi natin na siya iisa-isahin, but I will share this later on, no, saan natin makikita yung mga resources na yan. Right? So moving forward, moving on sa ating discussion, please feel free lang, no, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask sa ating chat. Masusundan naman natin yan. So I'm talking about work-ready skills, yung ISTE standards kanina na sinasabi ko. Yung isa sa mga standards ngayon na sinishare ng International Society for Technology and Education for Learners, ito daw yung mga dapat na standards for learners. And empower learners, meaning the more that they learn, the more that they empower to take charge of their education and to participate in the discussion. Digital citizenship, alam na natin lahat yan, no? Especially now that we're using a lot of technology in teaching, how to be a responsible digital citizen, how to be aware of security, data privacy, all of those stuffs. Yung digital footprint nila, kailangan nako-consider natin yan before we start doing or adapting a certain strategy for teaching. We need to make sure that our students will be knowledge constructor instead of just someone who is consuming the knowledge. Yung mga students natin should also be able to create and construct knowledge that can be consumed by others. So ngayon, yung teaching and learning, students are more of not anymore just consumers of knowledge. They're also knowledge creators. Then tayo mga teachers, we have to think of ways by which we can help our students to be knowledge constructor. In short, wag na po masyadong spoon feeding. Dapat po tayo mga teachers, for me, no, ang nagiging natin ngayon, trend natin ngayon mga teachers, facilitators tayo. We're providing our students with a lot of ideas wherein they can start thinking and creating and construct things and knowledge that can also be shared to others. Instead of us just, feeding them with this information, tapos sila consume lang ng consume. Kailangan maturuan natin yung mga students how to be creative. No, going back dun sa UNESCO kanina, di ba, knowledge construction, deepening, acquisition, creation is part of that. So kailangan nasasama yan doon. And then how to be innovative, how to be a computational thinker, how to be creative communicators and global collaborators. Kasi pinopromote na din natin ng internationalization, right? So kailangan yung mga students natin, no, they can work with and communicate with students, classroom teachers, and other people, not just inside their own classroom, but even outside of their classroom, di ba? Sa ibang bansa. So if there's a chance for you to collaborate in a classroom sa ibang bansa, gawin po natin. For example, before I remember yung sa Skype, di ba? May mga activity dati na Mystery Skype, virtual tour, wherein yung mga teachers who are members of the Microsoft Educator community, they communicate, they collaborate with teachers outside of the country. Nagkakaroon sila ng mga simple activities. So that's giving our students kind of like experience on how to communicate with students from other countries. So nakaka-boost yan ng kanilang moral, nakaka-boost yan ng kanilang, nakaka-motivate yan sa kanila, tsaka ng kanilang self-esteem. Okay? So talking about work-ready skills, question is, how can we prepare the new generation to be job market ready? Ano ba yung pwedeng gawin? Okay? Paano natin sila i-prepare? Very important po ito kasi ang ating like what I've mentioned kanina, whatever modality of teaching we want to use, we want to make sure na nakasentro siya, centered siya in preparing our students for the future. Okay? Nakasenter siya doon. Yun yung ano natin, yun yung gusto nating mangyari. We want to make sure na ready ang ating mga students. So, I'll share with you a few of this, no? As a parang springboard natin going to hybrid learning na gusto nating gawin. Yan. But before that, ito yung mga questions na gusto kong pag-isipan natin. Ask yourself, how do we prepare the new generation workforce of modern workplace? Ano ba yung new generation workforce? Ano ba yung modern workplace? Yan yung mga bagay na pwede nating pag-isipan. Okay? So let's move to the next one. Right. So sino ba yung new generation workforce? Sino yung mga millennials and Gen Z? Sino po yung mga ka-millennials ko dito? Nakiki-millennials. Nakiki-millennial ako. Yung mga estudyante natin, karamihan po ng mga estudyante nyo, lalo na po sa grade school, no? Yan ay nasa Gen Z na yan, palagay ko. Tama po ba? Mayroon po, mahina po. Mahina po ba ang volume? Meron po dito sa chat na mahina daw ang aking volume. Pa-check naman po kung Sir Franco, mahina po ba ang aking volume? Or baka sa signal? Yes. Baka po sa signal. Ayan, okay lang daw ang audio, sabi ni Sir Franz. Alright, so sino po yung, let's get to know our learners. No, yung mga learners natin ngayon, let's get to know them. Who are these learners? And probably, no, makaka-relate kayo dito. Kita nyo din to sa mga estudyante nyo. Most of our students now are very agile, meaning they're very quick to learn. They're always on the move. Gusto lagi nila nagmamadali, matutunan yung next lesson. Ganyan din sa workforce, no? Very agile ang workforce. Most of our students are very mobile. Even teachers are mobile. Na gusto natin, anytime, anywhere, we can learn. We can have access to the content in education. Very adaptable din ang ating mga learners. They're very quick to adapt to different situation. Very tech savvy, of course, no? Parang lahat ng galaw may app. Lahat na gusto nasa app. Gumamit ng technology for learning. Minsan sinasabi ng mga teachers, ang constraints natin sa Pilipinas when we want to use technology is connectivity. But try to do this as an experiment lang, no? Out of the blue, tanungin nyo lang yung mga students nyo about how many times in a day they're playing online games, or how many times in a day they're accessing Facebook, or how many times in a day they're doing TikTok. Pag ang sagot nila is 2, 3, 4 times, or every day I'm doing TikTok, or I'm accessing Facebook, or I'm doing online games, that means may access sila sa technology. May access sila may connectivity din po sila. Kasi minsan parang ang sinasabi ng mga students, ay, hindi ko magawa yung assignment ko, teacher, kasi wala akong connection sa internet. Pero naka-online games yan. Makikita mo, nag-post na yan sa IG, or nag-My Day na yan, or nag-post na yan ng TikTok. No? You do that as an experiment, hindi para pagalitan sila, kundi para makita lang din, wala pa talagang access. No? And kung meron naman, paano natin i-adjust pa na, okay, meron naman palang, ayan, ML daw, Mobile Legend. Di ba? Nag-ML, ano pa ba yung nag-Call of Duty, mga ganyan, ang mga in-access natin. So yung mga students natin ngayon, they're also very purpose-driven. They want to feel that they're part of a greater good, part of the community. They're also very diverse. No? Iba-iba ang culture, iba-iba ang mindset, ang frame of mind, thinking ng ating mga students. Very inclusive din sila. no, very inclusive ang ating mga students, very realistic and very independent. So they can learn by themselves. Paano ko po nasabi that they can learn by themselves? When the pandemic happened, or very independent yung mga students natin. When the pandemic happened, yung niece ko po na she's, I think, grade 4 at that time, or grade 5, tinanong ko siya, sabi ko na, I saw the module for math. Sabi ko, how are you going to study this? Wala naman yung teacher, tapos wala pa kayong platform on how you can meet with your teacher. How do you answer questions in your module? Alam niyo po ang sagot niya sa akin. It's very easy. She calls me Mama Jen. Sabi niya, it's very easy, Mama Jen. I'll just watch YouTube video about this lesson. O, di ba? Parang ayaw naman yata natin na lagi na lang ang takbuhan ng mga estudyante natin is YouTube or somewhere else. So we need, as teachers, we need to be, kailangan, nag-a-adjust din tayo sa ginagawa ng mga estudyante natin. So kung ma-YouTube sila, pwede siguro kung gumawa ng YouTube tutorial video about the subject lesson na tinuturo ko, di ba? So kailangan, makaka-adapt tayo sa mga ganyan. YouTube University, sabi ni Miss Angel. hindi naman yata lahat na nakikita ng mga estudyante natin sa YouTube are reliable, no, ng mga information. So tayo mga teachers, how do we adjust to that? Hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin sa mga don't open YouTube na lang for learning. So marami ako nakikita mga teachers gumagawa sila ng content kasi lalagay nila sa YouTube, which is actually very good. Now, the industry trends. I'd like to share this, no? Para makita natin, tama ba yung direction that you want to do, hybrid learning, or you want to do blended learning sa inyong class? Yan. So, sa industry ngayon, ito na din yung ginagawa. Okay? Hybrid training. Nag-hybrid training na din sila. Yes, the industry trend now is also pandemic influence. No? Continuous trends on emotional learning, competency-based training. Meron tayo sa DepEd, di ba? Meron tayong most essential learning competencies, yung ating MELT. So, tama ang ating direction. Personalized training. So, they do that as well. Kung ano yung need ng employee, yun yung binibigay nila sa training. So, tayo din sa teaching and learning natin, we can also do personalized learning, no? Kung ano yung need ng ating mga estudyante. And with all of the technology that's available now, kayang-kaya natin gawin yan. You have Microsoft Teams, you have OneNote, you have Sway, all of these things that you can use for the Microsoft productivity tools. Micro-learning, yung mga bite size, yung mga nugget size, learning, parang learning on demand. Parang ginagawa nyo din. Ginagawa din natin ito micro-learning sa YouTube, di ba? Parang gusto kong matutong mag-bake, pero gusto ko lang matutong gumawa ng frosting. Hindi mo naman naaaralin yung buong principle ng baking. Titingnan mo lang how to make a frosting. Diba? 1 minute, 2 minute video. Yan yung mga tinitingnan natin. So, kinagawa din yan sa industry. So, ngayon, what we want to do is what's being done in the industry, dapat magawa natin yan sa classroom so that our learners are ready. So, tama na may hybrid training. So, kailangan makita din natin and ma-experience natin yung hybrid teaching or hybrid classroom. Pero bago natin simulan yon, may mga layers pa tayo na gusto kong i-share sa inyo para makapag-decide kayo. Do I go hybrid or do I go blended? Yan. So yung modern workplace natin consists of 3 aspects: the people, the place, and the technology. So yung people, ito yung ating mga students ngayon. The Generation Z, the millennials, the employers, ito yung component. No? Kailangan kilala natin sila. Kailangan alam natin anong need nila. And then the employers naman should be able to provide for their needs. So in our classroom, kailangan kilala din natin ang ating mga estudyante. What do they need? And then sino ba yung future employers nila? So that we're sure that we're producing learners, okay, that's needed by their future employers. So that we know that we can secure a spot for our learners in the job, in the place of work. And then of course the place. A modern workplace po ngayon, employees can work with flexibility. I myself is experiencing that. I work from home. Okay? After I moved to Cypher Learning, The headquarters of Site for Learning is in San Francisco in California. But I don't hold office there. Saan ang office ko? Dito sa Pilipinas. Sa bahay ko. Sa bahay namin. So work from home. Very flexible. Wala kaming time in, wala kaming time out, but we're more focused on productivity, output-oriented. I can work anywhere. I can work anytime because I have the technology to do that. And then, modern design, kung face-to-face naman na workplace tayo, no on-site yung workplace, modern na din ang design ng mga workplace ngayon. Hindi na siya yung traditional na yun. Most or some offices are changing also the layout. Kung nakita niyo yung mga post ngayon sa Microsoft Office, yung bagong office, and I haven't been to the new office, but I can just see a lot of our colleagues and friends from Microsoft posting. Iba na din yung itsura, 'di ba, ng office ni Microsoft. So try to if you go back to the classroom, hindi naman kailangang maging super modern ang ating classroom din. But try to find ways, a creative way of somehow mimicking and have your students experience paano ba ang modern workplace. Tabi-tabi pa rin ba kami sa seat namin pag nasa workplace ako? O pwedeng I can sit anywhere in my classroom and I can just, rearrange my classroom so that pagdating sa workplace, hindi naman yung mga students ko parang very new sa kanila yung ibang setup ng workplace or workstation, right? So, pwede nyo gawin yan as an exercise in your classroom. And then, of course, the technology. Very important. The workplace now is empowered with technology. Technology-driven ang workplace. So, it's good that you're looking at hybrid learning kasi pag nag-hybrid learning kayo, technology-enabled yan. Right? There's always a touch of technology there. Hindi nyo pwedeng alisin yung technology. Otherwise, you're back to traditional way of teaching. And it's good that you're using a lot of Microsoft productivity tools as well kasi yan yung mga ginagamit din ngayon sa workplace, a lot of Microsoft productivity tools. So it's technology empowered. Ano yung ngayon yung struggles natin sa academe? I have here, I'd like to share this with you. Sana hindi ako mapahamak, no? sa pag-share, no? This is just an acronym that I coined based on how I see the struggles of the academe, no? Especially yung ating education ngayon sa Philippines. So let's start with letter S, yung standardization. Nandun pa din tayo sa standardized way of teaching, standardized way of learning. Somehow, I'd like to advise na pwede na siguro tayo somehow mag-deviate to sa standardization. Standard pa rin yung what we need to teach the students, but it doesn't have to be the same way of implementing it. There can always be different ways of implementing a standard policy or a standard curriculum. Pero pag in-execute mo, iba. Hindi magmumukhang, ay, this is the standard way of doing things. Okay, mamaya isi-share ko anong framework yung pwede nyo gamitin dyan. And then yung EdTech integration in the curriculum. Ano pa din tayo dito? Struggle pa din tayo dito. There's a lot of barriers pa rin and constraints. Na pagdating dun sa integration ng technology in our curriculum. So many barriers. Ang isa doon is, palagi natin, what we always hear, wala tayong infrastructure, yung connectivity is it's actually a problem, it's a challenge, yung device ownership is a challenge. So ito very serious problem that we have. Sometimes even if we want to, we cannot because we don't have something. It's just good that there's a lot of institution or organization now that's providing us with the tools that can help our students magkaroon din ng devices. And I know the government is also going to be doing something. And then, of course, yung teacher readiness and student readiness. Minsan, more often than not, no, dahil nasanay na tayo dun sa traditional way of doing things, nagsastruggle tayo when we want to do some changes. Sabi nga kanina, may mga naguguluhan, may mga nalilito. Ako naririnig ko, I was talking to a colleague, co-teacher ko from the former school. Sabi niya, ang dami-daming modality ngayon na ginagamit sa kanilang school. May flex, may enriched virtual, may enriched na classroom, may hybrid, may blended. That's just too many. Sobrang dami. So sometimes yung mga teachers, they're just not, hindi sila ready for that. And it's good that Kaagapay is doing this to get you ready for this, no? And then infrastructure is also a serious problem. Sabihin, wala tayong connectivity. Yes, teacher Desiree, teacher readiness and open-mindedness. Yan. Ano yan eh. Minsan, struggle natin yan. So infrastructure is also one. Katulad ngayon, may shifting, di ba? I'm trying to think of ways na bakit, meron ba tayong pwedeng gawin para hindi na lang magkaroon ng 3 shifts? Di ba? 3 shift sa classroom, sa classes. Nag-hybrid tayo, gusto natin mag-hybrid, gusto natin gumamit ng technology, pero bakit may shifting pa rin? Dahil, yan, yung kulang sa classroom, kaya may shifting. But there's a way. Meron tayong technology. It's good that Kaagapay is doing this. Maybe this can help. This can open something that can help us solve yung classroom problem natin. And then, outdatedness of sometimes the materials that we're using. Minsan outdated na, sometimes curriculum, hindi natin na-update. So, it's also good to look at that part. Sorry dun sa letter U. Underpaid pa rin po ba ating mga teachers? I don't wanna go deeper into this, no? Pero minsan din kasi it's important na, alam ko yung mga teachers, ang dami-dami nating ginagawa, tapos overtime tayo, minsan overtawad rin. Kaya yung motivation minsan, ano yan, nakaka-affect yan. And then staying engaged for the students, no? Paano natin ma-amplify ang engagement ng mga estudyante natin? This is a struggle. Yan. Yes, tama si Ma'am Lele, no? Struggle sa classroom pero nagagawa ng paraan. Ganun yung mga teacher na Pinoy eh. No, despite the odds, despite the struggles, despite the challenges, we can always find a way. Okay? Gusto po natin mag-hybrid pero walang facility at walang gamit sa school. Ayan, lumalabas na ang mga question. Makeshift classroom, napakadami. Okay? Talagang serious problem, underpaid pa din daw, sabi ni Miss Arlene. Okay. So, yung industry, kailangan nila ng work-ready na workforce. Ito yung mga top 20 most sought after employability skills. I will not go deeper into this. I'll share this later with you para meron po kayong copy nito. Yan. So, paano natin mabibridge yung gap? No? Papalapit na tayo sa exciting part. Ano pa lang po to, intro. Kasi 4 na oras daw tayo, sabi ni Sir Franco. Yan. So, preparing for the modern workplace. Ito po yung aking 3 principle. Educate, empower, elevate. Okay? And then yung goal natin, share, improve, increase, enable. Yan. Pag sinabi natin educate, empower, elevate, nandun yung components of teaching, educating our students, teaching our students. When we share our knowledge with them, students learn and then they feel empowered to do things. They feel empowered that they can do things. When they feel empowered, yung output nila, yung motivation nila, they can elevate yung effort nila to produce what they are expected to produce. Okay? And then, yung goal natin is to share our knowledge with each other, improve individual competencies of our learners, increase their competitive advantage, and enable them to perform their task better, whether at school or at work. Ayan. Paperworks ang hindi pa daw talaga mawala. Ayan. Meron din. And then focus natin, pag nagtuturo tayo or sa training, focus din yung knowledge, skills, and discipline. Now, paano i-close yung gap na yan? How do we close that gap? If you can, and I'm glad that Kaagapay is doing this, and I'm glad that teachers are doing this, early exposure to e-learning. Sabi ko nga, yung ginagawa ngayon sa industry, no, e-learning na din. Highly technological ang workplace. Using learning platforms, LMS, Microsoft tools, yan, pwede natin gamitin yan. Promote and embrace mobile learning kung kaya. Learn anytime, anywhere. Yung mga practitioner natin, kung kaya natin mag-invite ng mga practitioners as a mentor to our students or guest speakers sa ating mga classes once in a while, please invite. You can invite me. I'm ready to share no, so experiences ko sa mga learners so that they would also have an idea ano ang workplace pag graduate nila. If you can redesign your classroom, not necessarily renovate yung layout lang, no, pwede natin din siyang tingnan para naman magkaroon ng konting feel of a modern workplace yung ating mga students. And then sa industry naman, no, the industry needs to get involved in probably in shaping the curriculum. Pwede tayong invite ng mga practitioners from the industry to look at the curriculum that we have and ask them, ano ba yung need nyo? How can we improve the curriculum so that we are sure that we're preparing our students for the future work? Okay, yung work na kailangan nila. The industry also need to get the academe to know what they need, and the academe and the industry kailangan partners in shaping the curriculum so that we're sure that we're preparing our students for the future work. Okay, and then if we can offer more apprenticeship program and immersion programs not only for students but also for teachers, it will be even better. Yan. So yan po yung isa sa mga ginagawa natin ngayon sa industry. Meron po ba tayong mga katanungan? Gusto bang mag-bio break? Magbasa muna tayo ng mga comments. Paperworks overload. Hindi daw maiwasan ang daming paperwork. Sana daw mabawasan. Ayan. Pwede nating tingnan yan. Paano ba mababawasan ang mga paperworks? Meron na tayong Microsoft Teams. Meron tayong OneNote. Meron tayong MS Forms. Bakit meron pa din mga paperworks na marami? Time management, nandyan din. Okay, so going back, nakita niyo po, no, from, if you're looking at my screen, from the getting started overview, nandito ang aking mga lessons. Imagine your class. Ginawa niyo po yung lesson plan niyo, naka-structure ang lessons niyo, and then merong activity na ipapagawa. Right? So ito activity na to, hindi natin to magagawa ngayon kasi hindi ako maka-interact masyado sa inyo dito sa StreamYard. Pero bibigay ko to as an example. Pwede nyo pong ipagawa to sa mga estudyante nyo. Like what I've mentioned, everything that I'm discussing here with you, you can also do the same in your classroom. So imagine, especially pag nag-hybrid na kayo, no, pag gumamit na ng technology. You have your lessons, the students are reading this or you're discussing this in the classroom, then afterwards you have an activity. Yung activity nyo, ito, it's a 2-minute activity na pwede nyong sa mga students, so lalo na kung first day, pwede silang mag-ikot-ikot kung nasa classroom sila just to get to know each other, getting to know activity yan. Or kung naka-online naman, you can open a discussion forum, tapos doon sila magpapakilala. So after that activity, yan, balik tayo dun sa lessons nyo. So nakapag-activity kayo sa estudyante nyo, then go back to the lesson, whether you're doing it face-to-face, online, synchronous, or asynchronous. Now let's go to the hybrid learning part. Okay. Teka lang, bago ko ipakita yan. Question muna tayo. Sige. Doon po sa chat, if you can just, bawal po muna mag-search sa internet. Gusto ko lang po malaman, ano po yung idea nyo na hybrid learning? Kung pwede nyo ilagay yan sa ating comments area without searching for it on the internet. Yung own understanding nyo lang po. Ano ba yung hybrid? Paano ba na pag sinabing hybrid learning? Anong ibig sabihin ng hybrid learning? Tingnan po natin sa chat. Magbasa-basa tayo na. Ayan, sabi ni Miss Catherine, kakayanin natin mga guro. Yes, of course. Enhanced, traditional plus edtech. Ang ganda ng pangalan ni Sir, Matulungan. Mix of online, combine of online and face-to-face, combination of more learning, face-to-face online, combination of blended and online, combination of technology. Yan, traditional plus online. Thank you. Ang dami po nag-share. That's good. nandun yung idea of hybrid learning. Pero hybrid, yes, yeah. Meron pa ba? Face-to-face plus online. Yeah. So by definition, no, meron po, marami kayong makikitang resources then that talks about hybrid learning. But to simplify it, hybrid learning is a style of delivering classes that allow learners to choose to attend a class in person while others join the class from anywhere at the same time using technologies such as video. So it's a combination of traditional classroom experience, e-learning course delivery, and experiential learning objective. In short, pag sinabi po natin na hybrid ang learning or hybrid ang classes, meron pong, imagine this, if you have, let's just say 40 in a class, pag sinabi nating hybrid po ang teaching and learning natin, pwedeng 20 of those are in the classroom with the teacher and then 20 ay naka-online via video conferencing. Ibig sabihin, sabay pa rin na nagkaklase. Sabay pa rin na umaattend. Hindi po blended. Iba po ang blended, no? So hybrid is may nasa classroom, at the same time na nangyayari ang classes nyo in your classroom is the same time that the other half of the class is online listening to the teacher. Okay? Nakikinig din. So, 20, for example, 40 in a class, 20 of them are in the classroom with you as a teacher. You're discussing while the other half of the class is listening to you as a teacher online. So, importante dito ang video conferencing tool like MS Teams, no? Mag-online kayo sa MS Teams, mag-online sa MS Teams sa mga students, nandun ang video, nakikinig kay teacher, nagdi-discuss si teacher, para lang talagang isang classroom din, pero yung half is on-site with the teacher and the other half is online. Na synchronous nangyayari. Okay? Synchronous nangyayari yan. Half of it, naka-online, half ay nasa classroom. Okay? Yun po yung hybrid. Hybrid talaga siya. Okay? Parang mga kotse, di ba marami na pong hybrid cars ngayon? Pwede gas, pwede automatic, pwedeng manual, pwedeng automatic, di ba? Pwedeng powered by gas, pwedeng e-charge. So hybrid talaga siya. Okay? So ano yung mga benefits ng hybrid learning? It's flexible. Learn anytime, anywhere. Somehow it helps also save resources, money for travel and transportation. So very affordable. It's efficient kasi it saves time both for learners and instructors. And yung time management. It teaches students to manage their time effectively, lalo na yung mga nasa online class, no? Yung hybrid learning, yung principle niya very very simple. Very simple, nothing highfalutin about it. Nothing complex about it. Siguro yung pag-implement, magiging complex yan, depende sa capability of the school, no? Mamaya pag-usapan natin ang capability of the school. Pag hybrid, no, lagi natin tatandaan, kailangan meron kayong proper tool to be used. Video conferencing tool to be used is very important. Importante ang video conferencing tool. Kasi, yung mga nasa bahay na naka-online, na kailangan makita niya si teacher, kailangan marinig na rin kayo. Makita niya kung ano ang tinuturo niyo. Kasi nandun din sila at the same time learning sila together with you. Yan yung hybrid, no? Sabi dito, as long as reliable ang internet at may capable tablet, magiging efficient ang hybrid. That's actually true, no? Kasi technology-enabled ang hybrid learning. Kaya, I really like this topic kasi kailangan nating tingnan kung kaya ba nating i-implement bago tayo mag-decide whether we wanna go hybrid, we wanna go blended, full face-to-face, full online. Yan. Kasi technology-enabled siya. Alam ko may mga schools na kaya na po ito. Kaya nang gawin. Even DepEd schools, may mga DepEd schools na din na kayang gawin. Ayan. Challenge din sa learners kasi walang gadget. Maganda po talagang hybrid if may learners ka na nagkasakit, pwede pa rin siya. Yes, that's a very good advantage, no? Kaya yung flexibility of doing hybrid, no? Especially ngayon, magkaroon lang tayo ng sipon or ubo, hindi tayo sigurado kung anong meron tayo. So, ang tendency natin, we ask the students not to go to physical classroom to avoid spreading whatever virus they have. Hopefully not COVID, pero that's the way that we're taking care of our health now. So, hindi na din siya ma-absent. So, kung choose ni learner na I'm not going to school today because I'm not feeling well, then I can just go online and listen to my teachers as well, together with my classmates. Sabi ni Miss Eunice, this is very ideal. The struggle is the devices and the internet connectivity. Our school's internet connection is very unreliable, kaya as much as we want to use it, we can't. Sige, mamaya po bibigyan ko kayo ng mga tips kung paano tayo magiging successful. Kung gusto pa rin talaga natin mag-hybrid, no? Paano natin gagawin yan? Alright. Yan. Ways to effectively manage hybrid classroom. Kung talaga pong gusto mag-hybrid and kaya, these are some of the ways by which you can effectively manage your hybrid classroom. First is, you need to toggle between camera and physical classroom. Like what I mentioned kanina, when we say hybrid, meron kayong si teacher nasa classroom together with the other students and then yung other students naman naka-online. So when you're discussing, please don't forget that there are also students listening to you online or looking at you, watching you online. So you can toggle between camera. So dapat marunong tayong humarap sa camera as if you're also talking to those who are listening to you online. Yan. Create a balance between online and in-classroom learners. So, and this is between when it comes to participation. Kasi ang tendency natin, lalo na kapag hindi pa tayo masyadong comfortable or sanay sa hybrid, yung attention natin, doon lang sa kasama natin sa classroom, which is normal. No? Nangyayari talaga yun na parang, dahil sila ang kasama ko within the classroom, so my focus is with them. Minsan nakakalimutan natin, ay meron palang naka-online. Someone's listening to me pala online. So, kailangan balance lang din. When you talk to your students inside the classroom in the same manner that you will talk to your students who's online, makikita nyo naman yan eh. Kasi yung device nyo, nakikita natin sino yung online, di ba? Tapos pwede natin sabihin sa kanila, please turn your video on. Sa MS Teams naman, kaya natin gawin yan. And then encourage communication, meaning, yung mga recitation natin, I don't wanna call it recitation, yung engagement, no? Yung discussion, students discussing with you, and students engaging with their classmates na naka-online and their classmates na naka-onsite. Now, if you want to do activities naman, say group activities, so pwede rin natin i-manage yung ating breakout rooms, no? Kung magbe-breakout rooms tayo, pwede rin natin i-manage. Pwede may mga students na, you join the breakout room kahit nandito ka sa classroom, or yung mga naka-online, they go to breakout rooms, tapos yung nasa classroom, sila naman yung mag-group activity. Or you can combine it. Na kung ako nasa classroom, and if I have my device with me, I can join the breakout room ng mga nandun sa online, so I can also interact with them. You make sure also that devices are used properly, and then promote positive relationship among learners in both settings. Na hindi dahil naka-online, hindi ko napapansin no? Dahil hindi sila naka-online, hindi ko din sila kailangan pansinin. Pwede namang mag-interact. But the thing is, you need to set it up properly. Yung devices natin kailangan naka-set up properly. Sabi nga dito sa chat, titingin ulit ako dito sa chat, no? When students on site are doing class presentation, we switch camera so that students online will see them. Ayan, pwede yan. When students online are presenting, we share their presentation on TV screen. Oh, thank you, Ms. May, for sharing that. That's actually very good practice. Problems sa remote area, walang connection. Sa area of school, blended learning talaga ang ma-implement. Yan din yung isang gusto kong makita natin today, no? Giving you an idea about hybrid, but is it appropriate? Is it applicable? Sabi nga kanina dito sa chat, no, problem daw is yung connection. So, nag-i-implement sila ng blended. So, magandang tingnan natin yan. These are the things that we can actually look at. Right? Now we go to blended learning. Sabi ko nga kanina, ano ba yung hybrid, ano yung blended? So most of you, alam na natin yung blended. Yung blended, ang difference niya sa hybrid, pag sinabi nating hybrid, sabay-sabay pa rin talagang pumapasok. Nasa classroom at sa online. Sa blended learning, combination siya ng face-to-face and online. Kaya nalilito yung iba kasi merong online component eh. Sa blended po, simple na explanation ko sa blended kasi I've been doing blended learning for a very long time. Lahat ng estudyante ko, kung 40 sila, 40 sabay-sabay nasa classroom. Pag blended pa, yun yung synchronous session namin. Yung asynchronous session, yung online session, lahat naman sila sabay-sabay naka-online. Walang hati. Walang hatian. Everybody, pag blended, pag sinabi kong blended, kung 40 ang students ko face-to-face, yung 40 na yan, kasama ko yan face-to-face every Monday. Pag Tuesday, online kami, online lahat. Walang nasa classroom. So yun yung blend talaga siya of face-to-face and online. Mix of traditional learning, yung traditional and online, yung blended, no? Pag lahat naka face-to-face tapos lahat naka-online sabay-sabay nangyayari. Hindi yung lahat ay nangyayari sa isang classroom, yung kalahati naka-online, kalahati ay nasa classroom, pero sabay nangyayari. Yun yung difference na po sa blend. Kaya yung iba, blended yung ini-implement. Lalo na kung problem ang connectivity. Kasi, paano kung 20 of my students na nasa classroom, tapos yung 20 sa bahay lang, ay wala namang connectivity. So, hindi makaka-connect, hindi makakapakinig sa lesson. So, mangyayari, yung kalahati na yon papapuntahin mo din sa, uulitin mo na naman yung lesson kasi hindi nila napakinggan. Yun yung challenge natin doon. So, kailangan yung ma-solve natin yung challenge na yan. Okay? And then here, hybrid versus blended, same din in a very simple way. Hybrid combines learning, classroom, and online at the same time. While blended, combination of face-to-face and online class, all learners attend face-to-face classes at the same time, and all learners attend online classes at the same time. So, lahat yan magkakasama. Okay? So, now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be sharing with you paano ang hybrid ginagawa sa workplace, which is also applicable din ito sa inyong mga classroom. Pwede nyo din tingnan kung paano nyo ito gagawin. But later on, I will also give my own suggestion kung paano nyo talaga ma-implement si hybrid kung gusto. Or si blended, kung gusto lang talaga na may online component. Pwede din naman yan. Right? Let me just share this with you. So sa industry po ngayon, talagang meron na ding hybrid learning at blended learning. When the pandemic happened, training and working from home became the new normal for all of us. Right? Sa ating lahat, ganyan po yung nangyari. Training and working from home became the new normal for everybody. Now, returning to work, just like yung sinabi niyo po kanina, when I ask you, kumusta ang pagbabalik natin sa classroom? Most of you would say it's exciting pero struggle, no? It's motivating pero nandun pa din yung mga challenges that we're facing. It's the same returning to work. Okay? Returning to work is also becoming a struggle. Bakit? Makikita nyo, i-share ko sa inyo, I'm sure makaka-relate kayo kasi ganito din po yung feeling ninyo when you start, nung nagbalik tayo sa classroom. Okay? Ano yung mga struggles natin? Yung physical and social distancing. I think this is one of the reason bakit may mga shifting sa classes. And this is one of the reason why you wanna do hybrid class, right? You wanna minimize the number of people within the same physical area. It's the same in the workplace. Yung physical and social distancing upon returning to work has become a struggle for a lot of workers, a lot of employees, no? Yung magkakatabi yung desk, naging struggle yan. Wearing a face mask. While I believe it's important, but there are also some health repercussion about this kung maghapon kang naka-face mask. No, ito, personal experience ko. If I wear face mask for the entire day, minsan po sumasakit yung ulo ko. Minsan sumasakit yung ulo ko pag matagal na. So I could just imagine yung mga students ngayon, no, entire day or half a day naka-face mask. But it's needed because that's how we see it safe. But also just to give you an observation that I saw in other countries. I've been, very recently, I traveled to the US and in Australia. Hindi na po outdoors, hindi na po sila nag-face mask din. No? I'm not saying we're not gonna do it. I'm just sharing what I've observed in other countries. They're also doing face-to-face classes now. When someone gets sick in a particular class, hindi lang papasok yung bata. Pag okay na si bata, babalik na siya sa classroom. Very rarely, very seldom na yung nagfe-face mask sa kanila. But of course, in the Philippines, it's mandatory, so we have to wear a face mask for our own safety. Another struggle ng going back to work and going back to school, no? The anxiety of getting infected. Nandun pa rin yung thoughts natin na I'm going back to the physical classroom. Will I get infected? Mahahawa ba ako? Pag merong may sipon, normal yan eh. Normal feeling yan. Normal feeling na parang baka either ako makahawa or ako mahawa. Worrying about the commute. Yan, lalo na yung mga walang sasakyan. Kasi minsan punuan na rin yung mga jeep natin, di ba? Puno na rin yung mga public transport natin. Worrying about your family. Yan. Paano pag bumalik ako sa classroom or bumalik ako sa work and then I get infected, uuwi ako sa bahay, ayan, kung sabi ni Miss Josem, yung may baby, tapos yung may mga elders sa bahay na may mga autoimmune condition. So we worry about that. These are the struggles that we're facing now that we're going back to face. No, that's why I know this is part of the reason why you want to do hybrid or you want to do blended or you want to do fully online. Ayan, meron din yung may mga mahirap sumakay. That's true. 'Di ba? Nung nag-open na tayo, yung pagko-commute, struggle na 'yan sa atin. Even if we don't want na parang ayaw natin makipagsiksikan, wala naman tayong choice. We need to go home. Right? Lalo na yung mga mothers, yung mga parents, yung mga teacher, at the same time parent who wants to go home after school, medyo mahirap na parang anong pwede ko makuha sa pagsakay ko sa pag-commute, right? Basa pa po tayo dito sa ating mga comment. Kami po, full face-to-face na super crowded din. We are requested to have shifting classes. So, isa sa mga nakikita natin yan, shifting, di ba? Papasok kang guro, uuwi kang mandirigma. Ay, Miss Desiree, I like that, no? Totoo yan, no? Papasok kang guro, uuwi kang mandirigma. Ganyan tayo mga teachers eh. 'Di ba? It's a good thing, but it's also parang masakit there's a pinch in your heart when you hear that from a teacher. Ganun yung struggle natin. Struggle po ang pag-commute lalo na at maulan, bumabaha. Yung ibang mga bata, particularly sa elementary, kawawa kasi siksikan sa pagpasok pa lang. And then nandun yung worry na uuwi sila, baka may sakit, hindi makakapasok. So these are the things na nagko-cause ng worry sa atin as teachers, as parents, you know, as workers as well. Ubos ang energy, ang bilis pa ng takbo ng oras. Yung mga teachers sa transportation, kawawa, that's true. Ironically, we were trained to conduct online classes. Just go back to face-to-face. Yung online classes, so I don't have anything against face-to-face classes because we still need the human interaction. I think having a training like this on how exploring the different modalities or ways by which we can adapt to the situation, because the truth is there's still a threat to our health, no? hindi pa rin naman tayo 100% sure na wala na yung yung virus na yan. So, kailangan nating mag-adapt to what's happening and find ways by which we can, still continue to teach and students can still continue to learn. That's why you're here. That's why we're doing the hybrid classes, the hybrid session or blended session if you want to also look at the blended session. Basa pa po tayo dito. Maiiwasan na yung may papasok tapos biglang cancel dahil malakas ang ulan o may bagyo. Yes. Pag papasok pa lang po, pagod na. I feel you. Papasok kang fresh, uuwi kang parang lantang gulay kahit Monday pa lang. I feel you, Teacher Monica. No? Ganyan yung mga teachers eh. Ganyan yung struggles natin. Ganyan din po mga estudyante. Sana approve na yung, yan. May 2K daw. Even kids, they have to wake up as early as 4 a.m. para mag-prepare. Totoo po yan, no? Yan yung mga struggles natin ngayong balik na sa face-to-face. Shifting, students, gigising sila ng 4 a.m. kasi nandun sila sa first shift ng class. Question, yan po bang shifting na yan ay nag-shift din? What I mean is that, if I am a student na ang shift ko in the morning, after some time ba, mapapalitan yung shift ko? Magiging midday ba ako or mapupunta ako dun sa hapon? Meron po bang ganon? Ayan. Dito po sa amin, may plans na i-change from set A, set B. Ayun na yung answer sa aking tanong. N to 4 sets. Kawawa teacher niyan kasi, so ang mga teacher po ba na nasa shift ng umaga, yun sila din hanggang hapon? Sila din po yung teacher? So imagine, ang hirap po niyan, no? Very, very challenging yan for our teachers. Much better talaga hybrid. Pwede rin palitan ng mga students. Yan, very good Sir Felix. I will talk about that as well, no? I-share ko po yan sa inyo kung paano natin yan gagawin. So these are the struggle. Now, creating a hybrid workplace, yun yung nakita ng industry to combat this struggle. Diba? Mag-create tayo ng hybrid workplace. In our case, we can create a hybrid classroom. So yung isinashare ko na hybrid workplace, applicable din po ito sa inyong mga classroom. Please remember that. No, pinapakita ko lang, kasi ang naunang mag-adapt ng hybrid yung mga workplace eh. At na-prove na nila na pwede ito. So in our case, in our classroom, we can also look at what the industry is doing and let's see how we can apply this to our classroom if it's possible. Okay? So what is a hybrid workplace or what is a hybrid classroom? Katulad din nung discussion natin kanina, it's a model that combines working from home with working from the office. So in our case sa school, it's a model that combines learning from home with learning from school, happening at the same time. Right? Okay. Then what are the different approaches to hybrid workplace, which is also applicable to hybrid classroom? Tingnan po natin, no? Kung ano yung mga approaches na yan. Malinaw pa po ba ang aking audio? Naririnig pa po? Parang nagkaroon ako ng konting intermittent sa aking connection. Pa-thumbs up po kung okay pa po ang audio ko. Ayan, si Miss Karen, sabi niya, 8 months and 3 weeks pregnant. Nagda-drive ng sariling motor for 40 minutes going to school. Risky kasi yung isang route kung mag-commute. Ayan, ang hirap. Oh no. Yan, okay. So ito po, yung next na isi-share ko sa inyo is yung approaches to hybrid workplace, which can be an approach to your hybrid classroom as well. So first na approach na pwede nating tingnan is portioning approach. After ko po ma-discuss to, if you're going to ask me, ano yung aking, what my advice would be? Yan, magbibigay ako ng advice. So approaches to hybrid workplace, which is also could be an approach to hybrid classroom. Portioning approach. Ano po yung portioning approach? Talagang portion by portion siya, no? A portion ng, ito po ginagawa ng ibang mga nasa workplace. A portion of the employees, okay, are working from home and a portion are working at the office. Ito yung parang hybrid talaga. In this approach, no, ang kailangan tingnan dito is yung different responsibilities and tasks ng mga employees. Which tasks are possible to be done at home and which tasks are supposed to be done in the office lang talaga. So this will help lessen the number of people going to the office and it will lessen yung viral load and chance of people infecting each other. So application sa classroom, portioning sa classroom. A portion of your students will be inside the classroom and a portion will be joining you online. Then titingnan din natin ano bang mga activities yung ipapagawa inside the classroom. Yun bang activities na pinapagawa natin inside the classroom is applicable doon sa mga nasa bahay. Anong mga example nito? Laboratory classes. Okay? Kung nag-hybrid tayo and it's a laboratory class, a portion of your students is in the laboratory with you and a portion of your students is listening to you online, ano ang challenge? Yung mga equipment na ginagamit sa lab. Siyempre, yung mga nandoon sa classroom, they have the access to the laboratory equipment. Yung mga nasa bahay, wala silang access doon. But how do we solve that? Very resourceful tayo mga teachers. If we want to do portioning and you're doing a laboratory class, think of an activity, okay? Kung if we're teaching chemistry or that has something to do with manipulating yung mga chemicals or equipment, pwede natin gawin, mag-isip tayo, ano yung mga alternative doon sa mga laboratory equipment na nasa classroom that can also be found at home, na pwedeng gamitin sa bahay. Right? Ano po yung mga materials na nasa laboratory class natin na pwedeng may alternative din sa bahay. Right? Kitchen lab experiments, ayan, may PBA and tasks that cannot be done virtually gagawin sa school with teacher supervision. Yes. Nagbabayad ng lab kahit hindi nagagamit ng students. So kapag nag-hybrid tayo, tapos laboratory classes, tapos naka-portioning approach tayo, where a portion of your students are with you in the lab and a portion of your students are at home, may ano yan, parang, paano natin yan gagawin? So pwede tayong maghanap ng alternative. Bago po natin i-implement ang activity, i-plan out muna natin siya. Planuhin natin mabuti. Okay? Planuhin natin mabuti yung activity. So that the same kind of activity that's being done in the classroom is the same kind of activity that the students will experience. Okay? So, paano ang supervision? Babalik tayo dun sa sinabi ko kanina na, you have to toggle between your camera and your classroom. Kailangan there's still a way for you to supervise what's being done doon sa yung mga nasa bahay, right? Especially if it involves mga equipment para maiwasan natin yung mga aksidente. So, naka-on ang camera, let the parents know that you're going to do an activity, especially if you're teaching kids, so that there's also parent supervision kung kayang i-supervise ng parent. Kung portioning approach tayo. Okay? Sige, tingnan natin ulit yung nasa comment natin. To be honest, dito po makikita ang halaga ng laboratory services. The lab experiments can be done in school as a service to be rendered by laboratory personnel, then the report is done by the students. Yes, maganda pong approach din yan. Right? Pwede naman yan. Asan pa po yung iba? If this setup will be just implemented gradually, maganda sana. I think this can be done in a 5 years time. Careful. Planning is very important. Later, I will share paano kayo makaget started with this. Yan. Yung mga lab experiments can be done in school. Pwede, no? Pwede yung lab experiment. Ngayon, kung hindi natin gusto si portioning approach, kasi hindi natin, the challenge is supervising those at home. You might want to do a blended style muna, right? For everyone, nasa classroom sila doing the activity. Meron din po kasing rotation approach sa blended. Okay, mamaya i-ano ko sa rotation. I hope that while I'm discussing this, naiisip na natin which approach will be appropriate for us if we really want to do hybrid. Yeah. So portioning, again, yung portioning, there's a portion of your students that's in the classroom and a portion that's joining you online. This same is happening, again, the same is happening in the workplace. A portion of the employees are working from home while a portion is working in the office. But what the companies are doing now, tinitingnan nila the different responsibilities of the employees. Which employees can do work from home and which employees na kailangan naka-onsite. In the same way, sa inyong classroom, anong mga activities ang pwedeng gawin on-site at pwedeng gawin online? Kung laboratory, again, look for alternatives na nakakapag-laboratory exercises sa mga bata together with the students who are doing classroom online, yung on-site, right? And then next is rotation approach. So another approaches to hybrid in the workplace is a rotation approach. Now, how do we apply this into our classroom? So rotation approach, ito yung alternate group of employees can work from home and the others can switch schedules. Ano po ibig sabihin nito? Okay. So group A, sa office ka muna ngayon. Pwedeng ganito siya, rotation. Group A sa office, group B sa bahay. After X number of weeks, si Group B naman ang mag-o-onsite at si Group A naman ang mag-o-online. So, nagsuswitch. In your class, pwede nyo gamitin to in your classes. Group A of students 1 to 20, or students A to 1 to 20, week 1, classroom kayo. Students 21 to 40, nasa bahay. Right? Naka-online. The following week, mag-switch naman tayo. Para lahat ng students nakaka-experience ng online, lahat nakaka-experience ng classroom. Right? So, pwede nyo i-rotation yan. Meron siyang counterpart sa blended. Blended can also be a rotation approach where everyone is in school, nasa school po lahat, pero ang pagpunta sa classroom ay rotation. Students 1 to 20 nasa classroom listening to teacher, si teacher na discuss. 21 to 40, nasa loob ka pa rin ng school, but you're probably at the library doing the activities or the assignment. Tapos magsuswitch. Okay? That's part of the blended approach. Kung gusto natin na nasa classroom lahat, kasi nga, kung ang challenge ay gadgets at connectivity, so pwedeng nasa classroom lahat. Na nasa school lahat, pero rotation ang pagpunta sa classroom kung ayaw nating punong-puno. Siyempre, on the part of the teacher, meron siyang, I wouldn't really say additional task, but it's an added effort for a teacher. Kasi kung diniscuss ko ang chapter 1 kay group A, paglabas ni group A, si group B papalit, I'll discuss chapter 1 again. Kung rotation ang approach natin. At hati ang mga estudyante. Right? Ito yung mga dapat nating tingnan. Sabi ni Sir Randy, it depends on the administration. Hindi pwedeng kami teachers ang mag-call kung anong gusto ni admin. That's right, no? That's why you're here, you're listening to this so that you can pitch to the admin. Pwedeng kayo yung mag-advocate, no? Para matulungan din natin ang ating mga administrator kung ano ang pwede nating gawin, right? And through maraming challenges in adapting this approach, but remember tayo mga teachers, very yung growth mindset natin, mas malakas yan kesa dun sa mindset na challenging. Kaya tinitingnan natin, what would be appropriate? Ito yung mga appropriate, yung mga pwede natin gawin. Okay, so rotation pwede, no? Ang rotation pwede sa hybrid, ang rotation pwede rin sa blended. So titingnan nyo, ano ba yung appropriate? Ano yung kaya? Ano yung pwede sa school. Okay? And then on-call approach, everybody kung sa workplace, so everybody works from home and goes to school or to office as needed. For example, yung mga meetings, special events, kapag may kailangang ayusin, yan, doon lang pupunta sa school. Ang application nito in school, no, ginagawa ng iba, they call it flex, high flex. Okay? Meron silang mga schedules. So, naka-online yung classes nila. And then, meron lang ding certain schedule where students are going to school but not to attend a regular class but to go to their teachers for consultation or for any event or for any activities that they need to do in school. So yun yung ginagawa ng iba. They call it high flex. Classes are still happening online. Could be synchronous or asynchronous. Okay? And then merong schedule, certain schedule, on-call ang mga students kapag or mga teachers na pag merong kailangang special events, pag may meeting or merong consultation, pupunta si students sa school. May mga school po ang ginagawa nilang approach dito. Ang ginagawa nila is nagde-dedicate ng isang araw where everyone goes, yung mga nag-high flex. So yung mga nag-high flex, what they're doing, meron silang asynchronous and synchronous classes happening online, okay, virtually. But they have a scheduled, a specific day wherein yung mga students pupunta sa school for consultation. Hindi para dun sa classroom na face-to-face. So, pwedeng ganun ang gawin natin, no? Isa sa mga approaches yan, na on-call approach. And then, yung iba naman, no, ginagawa nila, choose your own setup sa workplace. Bakit may choose your own setup? Choose your own setup meaning you can set up your own working space. Kung gusto mo malayo ka sa mga tao, it depends. Depende yan sa'yo. Kasi, kung babalikan natin, no, kanina, sinasabi ko kanina is, yung problem with, saan na yan? Balik natin ng konti. Yeah. Yan. Yan, worrying about getting infected. So, yung iba, to solve this, ang ginagawa nila, okay, they would say na, sige, choose your own setup na lang. Anong setup ang gusto mo? Okay? Ng workspace mo. Workplace setup preference. Yung setup that will make you feel safer and comfortable, but not totally isolated. So I don't know if this can be applied to our classroom here in the Philippines kasi maliliit lang naman yung classroom. Hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin, bahala kayo, choose your own pwesto inside the classroom. Diba? Well, we can try, no? We can try. Siguro sa faculty room pwede yan, no? We can actually try to look at the choose your own setup. Pero in the case in the Philippines, classroom natin na punong-puno, yan, hindi po siguro, I'm not sure if the choose your own setup can work. Pero pwede nating i-relay out ang ating mga classroom in such a way na feel safe naman yung mga students. Sa nakikita ko po kasi ngayon nilalagyan ng mga barrier. Parang lalong hirap humingi yung bata na face mask ka na tapos may barrier ka, kasi magastos pa po yun. Yan. According to Sir Jeffrey, let's look at the comments here. Sa tertiary education, we just started the high flex learning with 6 hours of on-site learning experiences. Oh, that's nice. Maganda po yan. Okay? Miss Mary Ann Bituon, high flex po ang sa amin. And then, kay Miss Rodri, sa public school po, we have to consider schedules, availability of teachers to teach the subject, and of course, teachers loading. So, yan. Ang dami pong magagandang sharing dito sa ano natin, no, sa comment areas. I'm not sure kung nasisave yan, but these are the things that we can actually look at and see how we can use this to create yung model po na pinapakita ko sa inyo ngayon. This is not the only approach to hybrid learning or hybrid workplace that you can do. You can do a combination that you think will work for your school. Okay? That's the reason why we're here. We're looking at this, tinitingnan natin ano ba yung pwede so that we can apply this to our own school. Kasi applicable din pala to sa workplace so that our students are familiar na pag-graduate nila, right? Okay. Now, benefits of hybrid workplace/classroom. Yan, ito yung mga benefits din. It promotes good mental and emotional well-being of employees. Bakit? Kasi, ano tayo, yung mga nasa work from home, hindi ka mag-aalala na you get infected or something. Sa school, ganun din. 'Di ba? Hindi kayo mag-aalala, hindi mag-aalala yung mga magulang na sobrang crowded ng mga classroom. So, somehow, may feeling of safety na tayo, safe tayo, gano'n. Pero ang mga bata naman yan, I'm not sure kung nag-aalala sila. Parang, they're not worried. They're just excited to go to school. Siguro mas nag-worry tayong mga teachers, no? Kasi tayo yung mas merong understanding kung ano na yung nangyayari talaga. Okay? Economical and cost-effective, katulad nung na-mention, I mentioned this earlier, no? It's also very cost-effective to do hybrid workplace, same thing as hybrid classes. Kasi yung pamasahe na natitipid, yung oras na natitipid natin, yan, nandun yan. Less turnover kung sa workplace ngayon, mas konti yung nagre-resign kasi yung feeling of safety nandun eh. Safe sila kaya okay sa kanila yung hybrid workplace. Keeping of talent pool is easier, yung safer work environment, and disaster-proof organization as well, and disaster education. Sabi ni Sir Joel, full face-to-face na din sila. Ayan. Okay lang naman na naka-full face-to-face na tayo, no? Pero, pwede nating tingnan, ano pa ba yung pwedeng gawin? Hindi naman dahil naka-full face-to-face na it's forever na full face-to-face. Pwede naman tayong magkaroon ng, to look at different approaches that we can use, okay? The challenges of doing hybrid, whether it's in the workplace or in school. Yan. Pwede nyo pong tingnan to. I'm sharing the challenges not because I want to discourage you. I'm sharing the challenges so that we can solve whatever challenges there is. So not everyone can do hybrid. Yes, kasi meron pong, kung sa workplace to, hindi naman lahat ng employees can work remotely. Yung mga frontliners natin, yung mga machine operators natin, those that requires physical presence, di ba? Hindi sila makakapag-hybrid kasi kailangan nasa school sila. In the school setting, okay, syempre yung mga janitor sa school naglilinis. Yung mga students na nagla-laboratory classes, sa laboratory classes yan sila. Right? So maglalab sila. Yung mga kung sa higher ed, yung mga engineering students, yung mga computers, yung nangangailangan na may machine talaga na mga activities, so kailangan nasa classroom. So pwede mag-high flex, di ba? Pwede tayo mag-high flex. Maganda yung hybrid, okay? Kung makikita talaga natin, paano natin ma-work yung challenges na to. Connectivity issues. Not everyone has strong and stable internet connectivity. Joining classes kapag nasa online ka can be challenging. So how do we solve that? Yeah. Again, I'm sharing the challenges so that we can find a way to resolve these challenges para makapag-hybrid tayo. So kung connectivity issue natin, maybe we can talk to our DICT officers or yung nasa who can provide us with a better connectivity so that we can do hybrid classes. Productivity issues. Why is this a challenge? Because sa workplace, there are managers who are thinking just because employees are working remotely, they're not productive. Actually, on the contrary, sobrang productive pag nasa bahay. Why? Imagine, simula po nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, tapos nag-work remotely tayo, ang mga meetings, no, every hour nagbi-meeting. 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. Magbe-break ka lang meetings ulit. Pero nung walang pandemic, pag may meeting ka sa umaga and then you have to do commute, may mga break time yan. Parang 2 to 3 meetings a day kasi magko-commute ka pa. And then another challenge, yung exclusion issues. People working from home or yung mga students na nasa bahay, sometimes they feel isolated. Kapag, yes, tama si Miss Karina, mas productive po pag work from home. Maraming nagagawa daw. Kasi daw pag nasa classroom, mabarites pa sa mga katabi sa table. Nakakaubos ng oras. Yan. So people working from home, yung feeling of exclusion, people working from home might feel or think that they're being excluded on crucial conversation or important matter na dinidiscuss on-site. And then yung feeling of isolation is also a challenge. Paano ba natin ito makakombat yung mga challenges na yan? Okay? So, syempre, katulad na nabanggit ko kanina, no, yung positive environment and collaboration na ini-encourage natin and communication among students or employees who are on-site and versus those who are online. Huwag na natin silang feeling na parang, ay, isolated kasi wala naman siya dito, so hindi na siya kasama sa usapan. So, yun yung nagiging pakiramdam. Sa mga estudyante, probably yes, there's also, especially yung mga extroverted, no, na students, pag nasa bahay yan, na parang sinisilihan niya mga, kasi ako super extrovert ako. Gusto ko lagi may kausap, gusto ko lagi nasa labas. Kaya imagine nung nagkaroon nung nag-pandemic, although work from home ako from the beginning, pero mahirap yung hindi ka lumalabas. So these are the challenges na kailangan tingnan ng school leaders and teachers so that your students, your or other teachers or coworkers, they will not feel excluded or isolated. Okay? Very important aspect. Yan. Now, moving forward, ano yung mga tips natin para uh, yan. Tips for a successful hybrid workplace and classroom. Yan. Ito yung mga tips na pwede natin ibigay. Pwede kong ibigay sa inyo. Okay? You need to make sure that your school, your workplace, because school is still a workplace. No? Hindi lang yan para sa mga estudyante. Tayo mga teachers, mga employees tayo eh. So prioritize yung safety. Para sa mga school administrators natin, we want to make sure that the students, the teachers, and the employees, they feel safe upon returning to work. That they will not feel anxious for about getting sick or getting infected habang nandun sila sa workplace, sa classroom, or sa school. And then we want to make sure that we involve everybody, make it inclusive, no? That everyone is included in the conversation, included in the activity, even the students who are online. And we have to maintain fairness and balance between those who can go to school or go to the workplace and those who cannot go to the workplace or work remotely. We have to maintain also our regular communication between the learners, the teachers, the school administrators, and even parents. Okay? Yung last two, ito importante. We wanna do hybrid. We're doing this. We're exploring hybrid. We're exploring blended. We're exploring high flex. We need to invest in technology. Okay? Yung schools natin should look at investing in technology and adopting the right tools, which is very important. Napaka-importante niyan. Kasi, mag-high flex tayo, um, baka wala naman tayong devices, 'di ba? So how do we solve that? So we need support from the government or from the private sector who can help us na para maging successful ang ating um, hybrid, high flex, and blended. Kasi technology enabled sila. Okay? And there's a way. Kaya naman. Kasi may mga DepEd schools naman na kaya na, di ba? Tama ba ako? Tingnan nga natin sa chat. Nakikita ko sa chat kanina eh, meron mga nagsishare na meron ng nag-high flex sa kanilang mga schools. Yan. Basahin natin. Sana po any approaches man ang implement sa school, mauna sana mag-unawa si admin kung paano to i-implement at school. Nabanggit yung pag-adapt. I teach future educators. Nagkaroon kami ng chance to experience demo teaching and hybrid setup. Talagang they prefer my on-site experience. Dahil sa pure engagement. That's true naman po. That's why yung hybrid, kaya po siya tinawag na hybrid kasi meron pa din po tayong physical na setup, merong nag-on-site at merong naka-online. Kasi po, yung human interaction should still be there. Social interaction natin should still be there because that's still very important. Very important yan. The reason why we're looking at this is because we want to be able to continue to teach and learn despite whatever disturbances we're going to experience in the future. Plus, like what I mentioned earlier when we started, our focus is to make sure that we prepare our students to be more work ready. Doesn't matter kung anong strategy yung ating ginagamit. ang focus is always the learners. The center of everything is our learner. And we need to always continue to find ways, okay? To find ways to make this work. Para sa bata, okay? Para po ito sa ating mga estudyante. Right? So next, yan po yung ating mga tips and tricks. So now, okay, I will share with you how you can get started with this. Ano yung pwede nating gawin? No, para mas maging successful pa ang ating ginagawang initiative. Sabi ni Miss Jobel, use the right tool is also very important. That's actually true. Using the right tool is very, very important. Choose the right tool for you. It's not just about using a tool because you want to use a tool. But what is the right tool? Ano yung right tool na pwedeng gamitin? Now, I just want to give you just an overview of adaptive learning, no? Na pwede nyo ding i-apply as you try to embrace yung hybrid type of learning. Okay? Please remember na, like what I've mentioned, yung ginagawa natin, naka-center yan sa mga estudyante. We want to make sure na hindi lang to because we want to be able to deliver our lessons. Okay? You want to do hybrid, you want to do blended, you want to do high flex. You have to think if this is helpful to the learners. Okay? Gagamit tayo ng technology. Ano yung mga importanteng pwede nating, what are the things to keep in mind? Hold on, let me just go back a little bit. Here. So content, yung blueprint nyo, yung technology nyo, these are the things that you can, that you have to remember. Okay? Importante na tingnan natin, you wanna do hybrid, you wanna do high flex, you wanna do blended. Can we also make it adaptive? Meaning, adaptive in the sense that can we adjust the way that we're teaching, the way that we're implementing all of this strategy to the learning needs of our students. And how can we do that? Okay, you need to look at the content, your blueprint, and the technology that you're using. And sabi ni Sir Richard, we are trained about adaptive learning last year by Sultan Ateneo. That's good, di ba? So alam natin na whatever strategy or approach we use, yung adaptive learning is a very good thing for us to look at. Okay? Especially for the students. So I'll just go very quickly, no, with this. Yeah. So in terms of content, no, in terms of the content, try to ask yourself, what will stimulate my students' learning? If you're doing hybrid, tapos dun sa online component nyo, or even blended, ano ba yung makaka-stimulate sa students' learning? Are you gonna be using audio, video, images, text, or all of the above? Tapos, paano natin i-deliver ang ating mga content? Okay, what will be the mode of instruction? Asynchronous, synchronous, ayan, hybrid. And then, paano i-access yung mga content? Okay, on pacing ba yan? May preset time ba yan? In order ba yan? Or in any order or sequential? Lalo na dun sa mga nagbibigay ng content online. Okay, so look at your content, importante. And then, yung blueprinting, ito, personal activity ko to ginagawa. Kapag pine-prepare ko ang aking lessons and activities, para siguro, for me to make sure na what I'm doing is applicable or it answers to the needs of my student, gumagawa ako ng ganito. Yung activity ko, okay, binubuo ko muna siya, nilalagay ko dyan. Kung magbibigay, if I'm going to give a quiz for all students, what will be my condition? Yung if, then, else yan eh. If my students, for example, pag naka 50% yung student ko sa quiz, gusto ko makamove na siya to the next lesson. Kapag hindi, pwede mo na siya mag-watch ng video or mag-practice quiz. Tapos pag nakapasa na siya, saka siya mag-move dun sa next lesson. Yung adaptive learning po kasi, ang idea ni adaptive learning is the students move from one activity to another depending on their progress dun sa previous activity. Ganun ang ni adaptive learning. So kung mag-hybrid tayo, or magbe-blended man tayo, magpe-flex tayo, kailangan tingnan natin yung lesson, the way that I deliver ba my lesson would be pag na-deliver ko na okay na, or kailangan kong tingnan kung nakakasunod ba yung mga estudyante ko or hindi. Sino yung mga naiiwan at sino yung mga mabibilis makasunod. It's a big consideration. Kailangan makonsider natin yan. It's a big factor kasi otherwise, we're just delivering what we need to deliver without considering whether the students are learning or not. Yun yung importante sa pag-deliver natin ng mga lessons. It has to be adaptive, whatever approach we're using. So, isa sa mga ginagawa ko is meron akong common activity for all, and depending on the progress that they make, ganun sila nagmo-move sa kanilang next na lesson. Yan, ganyan ginagawa ko po. So, ginagawa ko yan, tinitingnan ko muna, pine-prepare ko, and then pag ready na, ayan, sabi dito, we use adaptive learning for our senior high school student. This is from Miss Desiree. Thank you, Miss Desiree. What else? Ayan, backward design. Ayan. Contingency management must be adhered by teachers. Okay, very good. So, yan po yung isang ginagawa ko. No? Pine-prepare ko muna yung activity, tapos pinaplan out ko siya kung paano mag-move ang aking mga students sa kanilang mga lessons. Very important. Otherwise, sabi ko nga, baka ang ending natin, dineliver lang natin yung lesson tapos wala na. Okay, according to Ma'am Rodely, we are also using adaptive learning approach to our TVL students. Ay, nice. Very nice. Very good. Okay. Ayan, may nagsabi na nag-brown out daw. Nagpapaandar pa lang ng generator. Naku, Miss Rosalina, sana mapaandar natin ang inyong generator. Ayan. Okay, mayroong gumagamit ng flip grid, wakelet, very good, nice. So, doon napapasok yung technology. Nabanggit kanina yung flip grid, nabanggit kanina ang wakelet. Yan yung mga technology na pwede nyong gamitin for your classes. Yan. Balik natin konti. Yan. Okay. So, yung technology, very important. No? Saan nyo gagawin? Paano nyo i-deliver yung mga activities and mga lessons nyo? So, you can use Flipgrid, Wakelet, you can use MS Teams, you can use OneNote, you can use MS Forms. So, dami tayong pwedeng gamitin. Okay? You can use Sway. Marami tayong pwedeng gamitin para dyan sa pag-prepare ng ating content. Okay? Meron po bang, before I proceed dun sa, we're nearing the last part, no? Meron po bang mga questions? Magbasa muna tayo sa ating comment area. Sabi ni Sir Dominic, video PowerPoint picture stimulates and practice by preparing constructing quizzes. Very good. Yan. May question po si Sir Alvin. Anong ELMS ang gamit ninyo po for the discussion? I'm using Neo LMS, sir. So, yung ginagamit ko ngayon is Neo LMS. Dito lahat po nung structure ko ngayon ay nakalagay sa Neo. Even yung aking PowerPoint, even yung aking Sway ay naka-embed po sa Neo LMS. Yan. Okay. Ano pa po meron dito? In as much as we wanted to be flexible and to the capabilities of our students, but the major exam is standardized. Baka po hindi matapos ang topic to be covered. Yan. Ito po yung sinabi, ito sa unang serious struggle natin na pinakita ko kanina doon sa struggles ng academe, no? Letter S, standardization. Yan. Kailangan matingnan natin, paano ko ma-achieve ang aking learning outcomes in a different way. Okay? Iba-ibang way of achieving it. Pero alam natin na ito yung gusto natin ma-achieve. Gusto natin na makapag-produce ang bata ng ganitong output, but they can produce that in many different ways. Yan. Isa yan sa kailangan nating tingnan, yung standardization of things. Okay. First day of school, I give 50 points for attendance. Atos, kay Miss Rihan, parang gini-gamify niya na din, minomotivate na din niya yung mga students. First day of school pa lang, you have 50 points. So gamification is also something that we can look at. All right. Now, how do we get started with all of this? Okay. I have this model that I want to share with everybody. on how to get started with whatever approach you want to do in your school, whether that's hybrid, okay, whether that's high flex, whether it's blended. I call it the pie model. And this is also a combination of what I've learned over the years um, as I use technology in teaching, as I expose myself more in education and technology, and as I advocate for disaster-proof education. Okay. So the model that I use, I call it PI, plan, implement, evaluate. I call it the PI process. You want to do hybrid? This is my, this is very important. You need to plan accordingly. Diba? Planning is very important. You need to have a clear objective on what your goals are and what you're trying to achieve. Why do you want to do hybrid? What do you want to achieve? Why do you want to do high flex? Why do you want to do blended? All of these things you need to consider. What's your objective of doing this? What are you trying to achieve? And then, of course, after having a clear objective, you need to assess your school's capability. Okay? It's important to know your school's technological and pedagogical capability to deliver and implement remote, hybrid, blended type of teaching and learning. Okay? It's very important. I know that we want to implement a lot of teaching modalities. I know that you want to implement a lot of teaching approach that includes hybrid learning. But you need to look na in our dito sa comment area natin nandito na yung mga challenges eh. Okay? So, assess the capability of the school. Not because we want to look at things that we don't have and then stop doing or end up not doing the initiative. We want to assess our capabilities so that we know what we can do, okay, and what approach will be appropriate. So kung merong connectivity issue, kung merong readiness issue, for example sa mga teachers or concern, then we need to do capacity building, di ba? Then we need to look at our infrastructure and find ways so that we can make things happen. Hindi dahil merong constraints, hindi na natin gagawin. The reason why we're looking at our capabilities so that we can find ways, to achieve what we want and to deliver the kind of strategy that we want to deliver. And then another thing is identify the barriers and constraints, especially yung learners, no? Let's look at the learners' access to technology and internet access at home. Yung devices, yung connectivity, so that we can prepare an appropriate, okay, activity for them. Yan. And we can choose the proper approach. Not because they don't have access, meaning baka hindi na natin magagawa yung gusto natin because wala namang access, wala namang pwedeng gawin. Hindi po yon. The reason why we need to identify the barriers and constraints so that we can do something about it and resolve it. And create our activity, no, that is applicable to what they have. Yan. So, for example, kung challenge at mabagal ang connectivity and there's an online component in our approach, then maybe, and then yung content natin, maybe you can create content that's not too heavy on videos, not too heavy on images, no, so that others can access it easily. Yeah. Important yan. And then part of planning also is getting to know your students. Okay? Ano ba yung learning styles nila? Ano yung mga learning needs nila? Okay? Importante na alam natin yung kanilang mga learning needs, no? So that we can create proper approach. Sabi nga ni Sir Arvin dito, assess your school and personnel to look for a workaround to difficulties. That's very important. Not assess your school and find the difficulties and then so that it stops you from doing the initiative that you want. Hindi po yon. We're looking at the difficulties because we want to find a way to resolve it. Not because we want it to be a reason for us not to do things. Okay? Yun yung importante. So, Getting to know your students is part of that. Kailangan alam natin yung learning needs ng ating mga students so that we can tailor fit our lessons, our activities to the learning needs of our students. We can also decide, tama ba na magbe-blended ako? Tama ba na mag-hybrid ako? Will it answer the learning needs of my students? If I wanted to hybrid, how do I do it so that it answers to the learning needs of my students? Yeah, very important. Okay? And then teacher readiness is also part of the things that you need na kailangan i-plan out natin. Kasama sa planning natin is evaluating the readiness of the teachers in terms of implementing hybrid classes. Okay? So capacity building for teachers on the use of technology and the use of modality, pwede nating tingnan yan. Okay? We need to have a capacity building for teachers to use the technology and yung pedagogical aspect and the content as well. Because those are important aspects. Kasi tayong mga teachers, we're the ones who are going to create the content, we're the ones who are going to deliver. Kung hindi natin alam gamitin yung technology or hindi natin we don't know how to combine the technology with the pedagogy and the content, then it's going to be a struggle. And we want to resolve that. Before we implement, we want to make sure that the teachers are ready. Okay? Ready ang ating mga teachers. So kung hindi ready, katulad ng ginagawa ni Kaagapay ngayon, merong training, there's a workshop that can be done, there's capacity building for us to be able to do what we want to do and what we're set up to do, right? Okay, so after planning, of course, you implement. Okay? Implementation, meron tayong mag-implement na tayo ng ating initiative. So what are the things that we need to consider in terms of implementation? Okay? Content availability is important. Make sure that your content is readily available, okay, and accessible to the students sa digital platform that you're using. Teams, Sway, OneNote, yan. So yung Microsoft productivity tools, these are the content na pwede nating gamitin. So we need to look at that. Okay, we need to make sure that this platform can support your content. That's very, very important. Kailangan ma-support ng platform ang ating mga content na ginagamit. Okay? What else? Use the right tools. Okay? During the implementation, it's important to have a look at what tools you're using. Kanina nabanggit si Flipgrid, nabanggit si Sway, si Wakelet. These are important tools that you can use aside from the other tools na meron na tayong ginagamit. So look at the appropriate tools. Not because you want to use an app or you're going to use it. Look at the appropriateness of the apps that you are using. Appropriate ba ang mga apps na yan sa mga activities natin? Kasi minsan, gusto lang natin makagamit lang ng tools. Sabi lang na tech savvy ako as teacher, sige na kahit anong tool, kahit anong app gagamitin ko. Hindi po ganon. We have to look at the appropriateness of those tools that we're using. And then, when you have the tools already, you need to choose the right learning activities. Especially kung virtual and remote yung ating mga activities. Ano yung mga activities na pwede nating gawin? Ayan. So, ito yung mga recommended virtual activities. Okay? So, meron tayong, you can use forums. Okay? Discussion forums. You can use debates. Ayan. Meron din tayong mga debates na pwedeng, ako nagpapa-online debate ako. So, you can do online debate. No? Pwede sa MS Teams, meron naman tayong, pwede kayong mag-create ng channel for debates. Yan, pwede nyo gawin. Wiki, you can have online group activities. Yung mga breakout rooms, pwede natin yung gamitin. Of course, yung mga online quizzes and practice tests, web conferencing, group chat, pwede yan. Essay type of assessment. Gamification, kanina may nabanggit na sa attendance pa lang, may 50 points na. So, you can also gamify your classes. For the achievements, whatever achievements your students would have, no, pwede nyo silang bigyan ng mga points. Parang mga gamers yung mga students natin, tapos magkakaroon kayo ng leaderboard. Pwede kayo maglagay ng leaderboard. And then look at competency-based learning. Yung MELCs natin, most essential learning competencies, dapat applicable yan kapag kung ano man yung gusto nating i-apply na mga learning activities. Yan. So, kailangan tingnan natin, does it comply with the most, or does it support the most essential learning competencies natin? Okay? So, tingnan natin yan. Then here, I have here, suggested guide in choosing any learning tools, no? Easy to set up ba yan? May free trial ba yan? May provider ba kayo na mag-offer ng support? Okay? Ano yung need nyo and what you're trying to achieve? Yung tool ba na gagamitin nyo has the features that you're looking for or want to have? So, and what are the technological constraints against sa paggamit? Kung LMS yan. Kung other tools naman, no, the same din, other digital tools, no, na hinahanap nyo, importante na tingnan natin, ito yung mga guide questions natin. Okay? Kasi like what I've mentioned, pag gusto nating mag-hybrid, pag gusto nating mag-blended, lahat po yan ay may technology component. So, very important na tinitingnan natin yan. Okay? And then, of course, after implementation, we need to evaluate for success. Okay? Evaluate natin yung naging implementation natin. Successful ba tayo? Hindi ba tayo successful? Ano yung mga kailangang adjustment? So, I have 3 keywords here for you. Guide, monitor, and adjust. Okay? It's very important that the teachers and all of the stakeholders, parents, students are guided on all of the activities that's happening. Okay, kailangan well-guided po sila. We need to have an open communication with the teachers, with the parents, and with the students on our lesson plan and on our approach. Ano ba yung approach natin? Paano natin yan gagawin? Ano ba yung hybrid? Like kanina, when I was talking to a friend, sinabi niya sa school nila, they have multi-approach. And yun na same multi-approach. Meron po silang hybrid, meron silang high flex, meron silang blended, meron silang enriched virtual, enriched on-site. So, 5 modalities. Ang dami. So, ang dami din pong tumatawag ng mga parents. Ano bang a-attend ng anak ko ngayon? Nasa classroom ba siya? Naka-high flex ba siya? So, it's very important to have a clear communication and guide doon sa ating mga teachers. Di ba? Ano ba ang gagamitin talaga nating approach? Naka-hybrid ba tayo? Naka-blended ba tayo? Naka-high flex ba tayo? O lahat ba to? Sino mag-hybrid? Sino mag-high flex? Sino magbe-blended? That's very important so that we avoid confusion. Confusion among students, confusion among parents, and confusion among teachers. Kasi minsan si teachers naguguluhan na rin. Naguguluhan na rin sila kung ano ba ang gagamitin nila na approach, 'di ba? Para sa mga estudyante. So importante na clear, no, guided lahat, especially yung parents kasi parents po pinakamatanong eh. Kasi parents ang nag-guide sa ating mga estudyante. Yeah. So tingin po ulit tayo sa ating chat muna. So question, what are the tools that is applicable to the TLE teachers to deliver lessons more effectively? Depende po sa activity nyo. Coming from Sir CJ po ba to? So depende sa activity, no? Like yung nasabi ko kanina, hindi pwedeng basta pumili lang tayo ng tool kasi gusto natin. So it depends on your activity. Look at your activity. So kung ang activity ba natin is science experiment, may mga apps ba na pwede for science experiment? So titingnan natin yan. Okay? What else? Sabi ni Miss Jewel, correct po, lagi kasali po ang parents. Yes, kasi importanteng laging kasali ang parents. Yeah. So after, balik po tayo dito, after na mag-guide natin yung mga teachers, parents, and stakeholders to the activities, we need to monitor, not policing. Okay, iba po yung policing sa monitoring. Monitor means keep track of the progress of the teachers, the students, and the parents in terms of the approach that we're using. Especially kung bago lang tayo sa hybrid type of teaching and learning. Okay? Kailangan we need to be able to keep track of the progress of everybody, not because we want to call them out when we feel that they do something wrong, but it's because we want to guide them and make sure that they're on the right track. Okay, and then we develop the appropriate evaluation tools for every initiative that we have. It's very important that we develop an appropriate evaluation tools. Valid questions must be asked, okay, so that you are also sure to get valid answers. Okay, para ma-evaluate natin mabuti yung success ng ating ginagawa. Okay, paano natin ma-measure ang success nung initiative natin for hybrid learning? What are the evaluation tools that we are going to use? Okay? Ano yung mga evaluation? Ang evaluation tools should vary also. It depends on what you're measuring. Okay? Varied po lahat yan. So very important that we have that and we know that. Okay? Yung varied evaluation tools. And then develop effective feedback system. You want an approach, okay, na hybrid, blended, or high flex. Yung feedback system, para po yan, support natin yan sa students, support natin yan sa mga teachers. Okay? How do we let them know if they're doing the right thing? Or how do we answer questions from teachers, no, to make sure that they're well guided? How do we let them know na this is the right way of doing things or medyo off track ba sila? Yung feedback system din sa mga students, when you give them an exam, when you give them quizzes, when you give them activities, how do we make sure that the feedback is real time or at least close to real time? Okay? Malapit sa real time ang ating feedback so that they know how they will adjust. Importante yan. Okay? Important thing na alam natin kung paano makakapag-adjust yung mga teachers. Sabi nga nila, feedback is the breakfast of champions. Kailangan alam natin ano yung mga kailangan i-adjust, ano yung mga kailangan i-correct, kung meron tayong kailangan i-correct. And then, part of monitoring as well is creating a help desk. Okay? Online. Support. Kailangan po na when we're implementing especially so sa admin natin, sa ating mga school leaders, when we want to implement certain approach to teaching and learning, and if and we have teachers na this is something new to them, we need to be able to have someone who will help them when they need help, who will answer questions when they have questions. That's very important. It's very important to have to have that help desk or feedback system or help system that will answer, so that it's kind of like when you buy a gadget, diba? Or you subscribe to an app or a phone subscription. Tapos meron kang problem, tapos pagtawag mo sa helpline nila, walang sumasagot. Di ba maiinis ka rin? Right? So, importante na pag merong tanong, lalo na bago yung initiative natin like this, we have a team of experts or advocates who will help the teachers or who will help answer questions as needed. That's very important. Yeah. So, kailangan meron tayong help desk. And then, lastly, adjust. Okay? After evaluating, we need to make sure that we make the necessary improvements. Okay? Yung unang initiative natin, pag tingin natin hindi successful, it doesn't mean that we will stop. Okay? That's not how it works. We're evaluating because we want to know what are the necessary improvements or adjustments that we need to do so that next time that we implement the same thing, we're successful and we avoid committing the same mistake that we made if we made a mistake in the previous implementation. It doesn't mean po that when you evaluate and you feel that you're not successful, means that you will stop. It doesn't work that way. We evaluate because we want to make the necessary improvements. Okay? Or we evaluate because we want to upgrade. Okay? We want to do an upgrade or an innovation on what we're currently doing. That's very important. We need to be able to think outside of the box. How we can make things better. Okay? Kapag maraming marami tayong na-encounter na mga challenges. How do we resolve those challenges? It's not how do I stop doing this? I don't want to do this anymore because there's just so many challenges. That's just not that is not how it works, right? We're doing this because we want to make sure that we're successful. Okay? And we make the necessary adjustments and improvement. Okay? Meron po ba tayong mga katanungan? Yan, tingin po tayo sa ating mga comments. Okay. Balik, tingnan po natin kasi madami na pong comment. Mostly, ayan, the mode of learning depends on the learning situation of the schools, the availability of the infrastructure, the readiness of the stakeholders for the appropriate mode of learning. Tama naman po yun. Okay? So, meron pa po ba tayong mga questions, clarifications sa ating discussion? Nakikita ko po dito, wala pa daw po silang account ng MS Teams. Ayan, yung mga hindi maka-login. Yan daw po yung problem. Hindi maka-login, wala pang MS Teams. Ayan. Meron po nag-suggest daw, search for DepEd account. Okay? Sino daw ang gutom na? Ayan, tanong ni Sir Reynan, sino daw ang gutom na? Ako po, gutom na. Meron po bang gutom na? Gutom na po ba tayo lahat? Meron po ba tayong tanong? Do you have questions po? Clarification? Meron na daw nag-dinner while in session. Yan. Okay, so kung wala na po tayong mga questions, no? I know that what we're experiencing right now is very challenging for everybody. Very challenging in the sense that when the pandemic happened, we, like what I mentioned, we woke up one day and everyone just have to teach at home, and we got caught flat-footed. We don't know what to do. If you've seen the movie The Minions, para tayong mga minions, no, nagkakagulo tayo, anong gagawin. Now that we're back to face-to-face classes, parang ganun din yung sitwasyon, no? Nag-hibernate tayo for 2 years, tapos pagbalik natin, how do we do this? Ang daming challenges, ang dami nating iniisip, ang dami nating agam-agam. But the silver lining, okay, and to close my session, ito yung silver lining of what happened to us. The pandemic brought the world to a standstill, like everybody, the entire world. But also, I know and I've seen how it brought out the best in each and every one of us. We became very resourceful, very creative, and very innovative as educators. And the important thing is we survived this. Nag-survive tayo, and we survived because of our love for our students and our love for education. So whatever challenges that we're facing, I know that we will survive this. Masusurvive natin because we have that growth mindset. And we keep on finding ways and means, okay, to continuously teach so that our students can continuously learn. That's why you're here exploring about hybrid learning. I hope that this session has been helpful to everybody. I hope that you've learned. Sana po marami tayong natutunan ngayong araw. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for joining me in this session. Thank you, Sir Franco. Thank you, everybody. Alam ko po, gutom na kayo. Pero marami pong salamat sa pakikinig, and I hope that I was able to share something that's gonna help you as you explore the different modalities to successfully teach. Thank you po. Thank you very much. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat, Miss Jen. No? Sa totoo lang, talagang napakadami, no? Talagang I think Miss Jen, no, and I think teachers would also agree. After this session, talagang mas kumpleto na siguro yung pagkakaunawa natin about hybrid learning, no? And all the things that's actually connected to it. And perhaps Miss Jen, ang pinaka nagustuhan ko talaga on your discussion would be two things, no? Is that number one, is that the message about hybrid learning as not like should not be based on popularity. Kasi sometimes we're so caught no by the situation, by what's happening around us, and we think na mag-hybrid learning na lang tayo, no? Since ito yung ginagawa ng ibang mga schools, no?
Yes.
I really like what you've said, no, na kailangan alam natin exactly bakit nga ba tayo mag-hybrid learning. So that's the first and ultimate question for schools, no, and for teachers before implementing hybrid learning. And the second one is on the evaluation, na hindi ibig sabihin gusto nating mag-hybrid learning, dapat tayo mag-hybrid learning. Because the reality is that marami siyang factor no on implementing a hybrid learning. Nandiyan na yung infrastructure, readiness ng students, readiness ng mga teachers natin, no? Nakapag-training ba talaga tayo or na-equip ba natin talaga yung mga teachers natin? Even the administrator siguro din, no, Miss Jen, no, kailangan prepared din sila
Yes.
kasi mataas din or grabe din ang administrative requirements ng hybrid learning, no? That's totally different from a yung usual na ginagawa natin before or the pre-pandemic, no, administration of schools, no. It demands a whole new things, no. So maraming salamat, Miss Jen, for bringing those up, no, once again. Okay, and I think we have a lot of questions as well, no, in the chat, no, which we would like to entertain, Miss Jen, aside
Sige
from
po.
the Microsoft Teams questions, which I'm going to address later on. Nag-post na pa, by the way, ako, Miss Jen, ano, habang nagto-talk po kayo, no, gumawa din ako ng mga infographics, ng mga posters, no, to post in our page, no, to answer these many questions, no, regarding some logistics about our webinar for today. Anyway, so yan, teachers, no, skip ko muna yung mga MS Teams questions, no. Let's first focus on the discussion of Miss Jen, no. Miss sobrang meaty, no. Pero may mga questions po, no. Balikan ko lang Miss Jen, no. Okay?
Sure.
Pero siguro ako, Miss Jen, ang una kong tanong would be ano, no. Kasi kanina na-mention din natin, no, yung parents as stakeholders, no. Okay? If I'm the school or I'm the educator, no, what should be the things I'm supposed to be communicating with the parents, okay? And to what extent maybe, no? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng information kailangan nating siguro, no,
Mhm.
i-divulge
Yes.
sa mga parents. Pero what are the most essential information that our school and the educators, no, teachers, no, should be communicating with the parents to also get that enough support, no? Since hybrid learning also takes into account that home-based learning or online learning.
So, yung unang-una, no, kailangan alam ng mga parents, ano ba yung plano ng school? What's the plan? Kasi, and then, anong modality yung gagamitin? Kailangan maipaliwanag natin sa mga parents. Kunyari sinabi natin, o sige, mag-hybrid kami. Hindi naman po lahat ng parents naiintindihan kung ano yung hybrid. We need to simplify it for them. Kung ano ibig sabihin ng hybrid. Anong mga activities ang mangyayari? Kailan pupunta sa school yung anak ko? Kailan siya hindi pupunta sa school? Ano ang mga requirements? At bakit ito ginagawa ng school? Number one that they need to know is why. Why is the school doing this? Why do we need to do this? What's our objective? Why is this important? Why is my children going to have to do blended or hybrid type of classes? And what are the things that I need to prepare as parent? And also, ask the parents, habang ina-explain yan in a very, very simple way, you need to simplify it. Para po sa ating mga school administrators na nandito, hindi nyo po kailangan gamitin yung term na hybrid learning sa mga parents. Okay? You don't need to use that. Just use simple words. Simple explanation because not all parents would understand hybrid. Yung mga parents na teacher din, yan, madali yan. Pero always sa consideration is zero knowledge ang parents about hybrid teaching kasi not all parents are teachers. Okay? Or not all parents are also students who knows about hybrid. So even if you know that it's called hybrid, think of ways, paano ko ba ito ma-explain ng tama? or ng mas maayos in a simplified way. Pwede nyo sabihin, o meron po tayo, ganito po ang mangyayari sa pagpasok ng ating mga estudyante. Dahil iniiwasan natin na magkakasakit sila, ganito po ang paraan ng pag-i-implement po namin ng pagpasok ngayon. Meron po papasok sa school, meron pong mag-online. Nang sabay-sabay, ito po yung mga kailangan. Simpleng explanation lang. Huwag na po tayong gumamit ng hybrid explanation. Atin na lang po yun internal. Yan. Importante na ma-convey muna natin yung message sa parents. No? Kung ano ba yung hybrid, bakit tayo mag-hybrid, bakit kailangan gawin yung hybrid teaching, hybrid learning, importante po yan. So yun yung unang-una kailangan gawin, sir. Bakit natin to ginagawa?
Thank you, no, Miss Jen. No? Siguro napakalaking tulong kasi, Miss Jen, no, kayong school namin is actually using HiFlex. Okay? So what we did was we created a primer, no, for that, no. So it's like a booklet, no, an ebook, where
Yes.
the most essential things about HiFlex learning is actually communicated, no, pag may mga questions sila about assessments, about attendance, about health protocols in school, nandun po namin lahat nilagay. So if you can do something like that, would actually be nice for the parents, no, to keep them
Yes.
on.
Pwede yun,
Na-
sir. That's actually nice, no, to have a primer. Yung ibang school, parang booklet, parang comics yung
Yes po.
ginagawa.
Pwede rin yun, ma'am,
Para mas
actually.
madali maintindihan.
Yes, totoo po, no. It brings comfort to parents, no. Nakaka-reduce ng anxiety. Kasi nakaka-anxious talaga ang hybrid learning, no. Not only for the teachers and the school administrators, even students, pati po sa mga parents natin.
Lalo na po pag sinabing gagamit ng gadget o internet connection, ano unang sasabihin, ako, wala kaming internet connectivity, wala kaming ganito, wala kaming ganyan.
Yes, miss. Na totoo po. Ang dami pa rin nating mga problems lalo sa connectivity. Anyhow, Miss Jen, meron na po akong isang question dito that I was able to track back. This is from teacher Zes Arian Lorenzo. And ang question niya is about anong best option for assessment sa hybrid? Online po ba sa naka-online at traditional or maybe the standard, no? Paper and pencil test or the same po ba kung form of assessment kahit magkaibang approach sa kanila?
Kung ako po, I will have the same approach, no, kasi katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, dapat balance lang din sila. Kung ano yung ginagawa dun sa naka-onsite, tapos naka-online. So kung magbibigay tayo ng quiz, kung meron kayong tool that you can use for them to have like an online quiz, everybody takes an online quiz. It also takes away sa teacher yung task na mag-check up pa ng paper, tas i-encode mo rin naman yan doon sa online platform kung saan naka-record lahat. So, pwede naman na yung mga nasa bahay, no, magte-take ng online quiz, yung mga nasa school, mag-online quiz din. Or if you wanna do paper and pencil, pwede naman mag-paper and pencil lahat. So, kung anong kinukuha ng mga nasa online at nasa onsite, pareho lang. Hindi naman natin kailangang ibahin pa siya. Kasi pwede yan pareho.
Thank you, Miss Jen, no? Yung for answering that question. I'm actually looking at some other questions, Miss Jen. Meron mukhang wala na po akong nakikitang questions. Teachers, if you have questions also, no, baka pwede niyo pong i-bring it up again sa chat natin, no, para po mas makita namin. Okay? Pero so far, we have lots of thanks and appreciation from our teachers, Miss Jen. Okay? Ito po, no, siguro this one is from teacher Josue Joy Tamayo. Can we use rubrics on hybrid learning?
Yes. Ang rubrics po, wala siyang pinipili whether you're hybrid, HiFlex, blended, face-to-face, fully online. Rubrics is applicable to all modalities of teaching. Kasi ang rubrics, ginagamit naman po natin yan sa activity. I would suggest na mag-rubric po tayo sa ating mga activity. Mas madali po grade ng mga activities, lalo na kung may rubric, lalo na yung open-ended type of assessment natin. Kasi dati, just to share an experience, sir, nung bago akong teacher, hindi naman ako gumagamit ng rubric. Ang ginagawa ko, pag binasa ko yung answer ng student ko, ay maganda to, bibigyan ko na siya ng grade. Tapos pag binasa ko yung kasunod, ay mas maganda to, baguhin ko nga yung grade ng isa pa. Pero pag may rubric ka at meron kang criteria for parang pang Miss Universe, meron kang criteria for judging or criteria for checking. Napakadali kasi very objective ang pag-check mo. Hindi siya magiging subjective. Nandun ang criteria, na-meet ba ang criteria, eto ang grade niya. Pero hindi kailangan tingnan kung naka-hybrid ba ako, magro-rubric ako, naka-blended ako. Kahit anong modality, applicable po na may rubric. Kasi ang mga activities naman, hindi naman iba yung nasa hybrid, hindi din iba yung nasa face-to-face. An essay is still an essay. An open-ended type of question is still an open-ended type of question whether you give it sa hybrid, cyflex, or blended type.
So, ayan, Miss, no, yung lalo na pag yung ano rin, yung mood, at saka pag pagod yung mga...
Yes! True! Minsan mainit na yung ulo mo, ay hindi ko na ito mabasa. Ayoko na, bibigyan ko na lang ito ng ganitong grade. Alam niyo po, ang maganda sa rubric, kung meron kayong tool na pwede ding, at least alam ng mga bata how they're graded, no?
Yeah.
Kesa yung binigyan natin sila ng 50, bakit po 50 lang? Pero kung nandun na at nakikita nila, importante din nga po pala to, no? When you're using a rubric, dapat alam din ng mga bata yung rubric nyo.
Yes.
Dapat aware ang mga estudyante.
Correct.
Even before sila mag-submit, no? Ako po yung mga student ko, even before sila mag-submit, alam na nila ang rubric so that they will create their activity based on the rubric, based on the criteria. So pag ginraden nyo sila at hindi achieve ang criteria, alam na nila na hindi nila na-achieve yung criteria. That's why the grade is yung ganun yung grade na binigay. Ayan,
Very transparent na way, Miss.
Pag pangit ang sulat, mababang.
Yung mga factors na ganyan, Miss, no? So somehow, in a way, no, Miss Jen, no, rubrics create sort of standardization, no, pagdating sa checking natin, sa pag-assess din natin, no? At nababawasan natin yung mga externalities, no, ng pag-check natin.
Yes. Saka hindi siya nagiging subjective. Kasi pagka wala tayong rubric, minsan subjective eh. Yan nga, depende sa mood. Pag pangit na yung mood mo, pangit na rin yung grade. Eh, kawawa yung student. So kung may rubric tayo, kahit anong mood ng teacher, based pa rin sa rubric yan. Hindi na mababago yan.
Yes, Miss. Namitin naman from Teacher May for Yad, no? Sample po ako, student ng hybrid learning. Pwede po ba ako magpalit-palit ng schedule? Like this week, gusto ko hybrid. Next week, gusto ko face-to-face things po.
Ang hybrid po kasi is, kung mayroong may face-to-face po ang hybrid. Ang papalitan niyo po yung mga students na umaattend. Kung mag-hybrid po kayo, no? So meron, yung nabanggit ko po kanina, yung rotation o portioning. A portion of your students or yung rotation, nasa classroom. Kunyari si Group A, nasa classroom sila ngayon. Si Group B, yung naka-online. The following, pwede nyo pong pagpalitin. Si B naman yung nasa classroom, si A naman yung mag-online. Yan. Yung pagpapalit po ng schedule, hybrid next week, face-to-face, combination po kasi yun eh. Yung hybrid may nagpe-face-to-face, may nag-online. Kung blended po ang sinasabi natin na, ito baka applicable to sir sa blended yung question mo. Sa blended po kasi merong face-to-face, lahat ng estudyante, lahat kayo nasa classroom, tapos the following week mag-online kayo. Lahat kayo naka-online, wala pupunta sa classroom. Yun po yung blended. Hindi ko po nire-recommend na from time to time, palit-palit kasi nakakagulo po yan sa schedule ng mga students. We have to be consistent of our schedule. Kailangan may consistency. Kaya po importante na may planning tayo. Kung gusto nyo po gumawa kayo, we call it e-calendar, no? Parang lesson plan nyo. May mga dates. Ngayong week na to, ito yung mga i-discuss ko and I'm going to do this online. Next week, this is going to be face-to-face. This week, this is going to be online. Give that to the students. Para alam na nila kailan sila mag-online, kailan sila magpe-face-to-face. Yun po kung naka-blended. Kung hybrid, walang problema kasi lahat may nag-online, lahat may nagpe-face-to-face. I wouldn't recommend po yung constant switching.
Yes, tama po no, Miss. Nakakaano siya. Ang laking logistical nightmare ng constant switch, no? Siguro ang concern lang ni Teacher May, no, is that meron din kasi mga Miss Jen, mga parents, no, mga students na they also go by with what's happening around. Kapag tumataas bigla yung cases, no, biglang gusto nilang mag-online or kaya mag-hybrid, no, para ma-reduce yung exposure. Kung hindi naman masyadong mataas yung cases, gusto nila full face-to-face. Kasi for example sa amin, no, may ganun kaming setup ngayon. Meron kaming students na full face-to-face. So, all throughout, no, full face-to-face. Meron naman kami mga students na full online, so naka-online lang sila forever. Pero meron po kami siguro 70 to 80% of our students are switching between online and on-site. So this week online sila, next week on-site sila. Something like
Yan.
that.
Pwede yun. Pwede po yun. Ang mas nire-recommend ko na yung mga students yung nagsuswitch. Para hindi lahat ng students, kunyari, ako isang buong taon ako naka-remote as student. Siyempre gusto ko rin pumunta sa classroom. So yun
Yes,
yung
ma'am.
tinatawag natin na may rotation.
Opo.
Nagro-rotation yung pumupunta sa school at saka yung nagre-remote para lahat yung naka-experience ng social interaction. Kasi importante yun eh. Maliban na lang yung may mga autoimmune diseases na talagang iniiwasan natin na ma-expose sa panahon ngayon na hindi pa talaga pwede yan. Pwede na silang full online for the rest of the school year.
Totoo, miss, no? Kami, miss, ang ginawa namin sa school namin, we allowed switching, pero not as like regularly.
As
Ang
often,
switching po namin
yes.
is as per term. So after the term, dun ka lang pwedeng mag-apply ulit, no, na pwedeng mong lumipat ng modality or ng for that term, for the second term. Pero basta, siguro ang point
Yes.
lang, Mr. May, kung papayagan man, wag like
Wag
linggo-linggo, no, or
weekly.
araw-araw.
Wag po weekly.
Oo. Wag based on whimsical reasons basically, no.
Yes.
Kailangan talaga kasi ano 'yan eh, kailangan yung school din meron siyang exact data how many yung naka-online, how many yung naka-onsite, no.
True.
Kasi yung space natin is also monitored, no, for kahit wala na masyadong social distancing, maganda pa rin na we still keep, no, yung crowd sa school natin. Okay? Ito
Yes.
naman po,
Importante
Miss.
pa rin yan.
Yes, Miss, no. Ito na ang ganda ng question nito, Miss Jen naman. This is from my Pinay. How can we say that hybrid learning adopted by the school is effective and efficient?
Diyan papasok ang evaluation. Nabanggit ko kanina, you need to evaluate. After nyo po mag-implement ng hybrid learning, you need to have an evaluation tool and ask appropriate questions. Ano yung mga dapat nating itanong? In terms of effectiveness or efficiency, pag sinabi po kasi nating effectiveness, dyan papasok ang ating objective. Na-achieve ba natin ang ating objective? Kaya nasabi natin na effective tayo. Ano objective nyo? Bakit kayo nag-hybrid? So yung magiging evaluation nyo is based dun sa objective ninyo. Pag na-achieve ang objective sa pag-hybrid, that means you're effective. Right? Efficiency has something to do with the use of resources. Okay? Efficient ako kasi na-achieve ko ang objective ko with less use of resources or na-maximize ko ang use ng mga resources sa school. Okay? So, yun ang efficiency. Efficient ba ako kasi nakapag-hybrid ako pero yung resources ko, despite yung lack of resources, nakapag-access pa din yung mga bata. Nakapag-exam pa rin sila. So, you have to look at that. So, dun papasok po yung evaluation and asking appropriate question. Look at your objective, okay? And look at your resources. Wasted ba ang resources or nagkulang ang resources? Kasi ang efficiency has something to do with the resources and yung effectiveness naman has something to do with the achievement of your objective. So, yun po yung titingnan. Para malaman nyo kung yung pag-adapt nyo ng hybrid ay effective and efficient at the same time.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Jen. Ito naman, medyo pang Miss Universe na question, Miss Jen. Okay? From Teacher Lucero Trangia. Sa paningin niyo po, ang hybrid learning ay nandito lang ngayon dahil ito ay isa sa mga mabisang paraan ng pagkatuto at pagtuturo o isa itong pangmatagalang solusyon sa problema ng bansa sa edukasyon?
It depends. Sabi nga ni Sir kanina, hindi to based sa popularity. Kasi minsan, napansin ko, no, simula nung nag-pandemic, lumabas ang term na hybrid. Lahat gustong mag-hybrid. It could be a long-term solution. I'm an advocate of disaster-proof education. No, kaya natin tinitingnan to kasi gusto natin na despite whatever calamities we're experiencing, teachers can still continue to teach and students can still continue to learn. But there's a lot of consideration na nabanggit ko kanina. If we want to do hybrid, we have to look at readiness, capability. We need to assess what we can and cannot do, what we have and what we don't have. This could be a long-term solution. Kasi depende kasi sabi ni sa problema ng bansa sa education, marami po tayong challenges sa education. Hindi po sagot ang hybrid. Ang hybrid learning or hybrid approach is just an approach for us to implement yung delivery ng ating classes. But is this a solution to all of the other education problems? I don't think so. Kasi marami po tayong problema sa education. Isang hybrid. So pwede nating tingnan as an approach for continuous teaching and learning. That's what I can say. Okay? It's an approach for continuous teaching and learning. So kung mayroon tayong nakikitang problem sa continuous teaching and learning, a hybrid approach could be an approach to that, no, a solution to that. But other problems that we have in education would require a different solution. So titingnan natin kung ano ba ang problema and then titingnan natin ano ang appropriate solution.
Yes na. Miss, maraming salamat na tama talaga, no? Hindi naman nasusolusyonan itong hybrid learning. Lahat ng problema natin sa edukasyon sa bansa, no? Siguro lang, for the sake of Teacher Lucero, no, hybrid learning could definitely address two key problems in the country, no? Number one would be, sabi na nga ni, ni Miss Jen, yung tinatawag nating risk management sa education sector natin. Dahil may risk ngayon ng pandemic, hybrid learning, no, tends to reduce that risk, no, of exposure, of creating new new waves of of infection. At siguro yung second na address ng ng hybrid learning, no, in general, even before the pandemic, pero na kasing nagtatry ng mga hybrid learning. It's really for access. Kasi mas inclusive kasi ang hybrid learning, no. It allows people who are good on-site and people who are also good online, no, para nabibigyan ng pansin yung ganong klase ng preferences pagdating sa access to education. Okay?
Yes. Importante
Ayan.
kasi we give access Ang main point natin dito is mabigyan natin ng access to education yung mga students. Continuous teaching and learning. Very important.
Yan po. So, Miss Jen, actually, no, may mga questions pa ng konti, pero unfortunately,
ang dami, nakakatawa.
Yes,
meron, sir, meron dito mga tanong din na i-highlight ko lang po yung tanong ni Sir VJ Valerio. Teacher Jen, pwede po ba yung modality na gagamitin sa klase? Si teacher ang mag-decide na modality that he or she will use in the class. Well, in reality, pwede naman. Pero, meron po tayong mga school administrators and it depends on the policy of the school. No? Kung ano yung nakikita nating appropriate. Baka kasi meron tayong sariling modality na gustong gamitin pero hindi yan nag-a-adhere or nagko-comply sa policy ng school. So it's a two-way street. This is gonna be a work between teachers and the school administrators. You need to talk and align kung ano yung pwede, no? And decide what modality is appropriate for the majority. Katulad ng school na kausap ko kanina, ang dami nilang modality, 5 ang ginagamit nila sa school, 'di ba? Depende sa course kasi higher ed 'yon. So that's the decision of the admin. Pero may mga teachers na naguguluhan, may mga estudyante na naguguluhan. So gusto nila na sana sa susunod mag-decide na lang na blended kung blended, hybrid kung hybrid, o dalawa na lang yung gagamitin kung dalawa na lang. Pag sobra po kasing dami na, imagine niyo po kung kunyari lahat ng teacher magde-decide ng modality nila. 10 ang teacher ko, estudyante ako. Lahat ng 10 teacher, iba-ibang modality. 10 modality ako sa estudyante. 10 different ways of teaching and of access sa class mo. Baka masiraan ang bait na yung estudyante natin. So, pagka teacher ang gagawa, kung 10 teacher sa iba-ibang implementation, 10 implementation po para sa estudyante yan. So, we need to consider yung ating mga estudyante.
Thank you, Miss Jen. I think siguro din, Miss Jen, siyempre, inisip ko lang din yung context ni Teacher VJ. Meron din kasi tayo, Teacher Jen, mga school sa Pilipinas, no, lalo na sa mga remote areas, okay? Na mga small, contingents lang, no? At yung teacher actually teaches the entire, like 3 to 4 teachers. Teaches the entire community, no? If that's the case, could be a possibility kasi konti lang yung members, no? You can definitely manage it, no, based on the teacher's preference. Pero siguro the moment na yung school mo mas malaki na, yes, no, standardization is actually a better route, no, for the school kasi ang dami mo nang kailangang isipin dyan. Pero kung smaller community schools, that's a possibility. Pero sabi ko, habang ang Teacher Jen pa rin, kailangan mo pa rin pag-isipan, no? Like alignment with the students, alignment with the administrations, and
Tsaka
of
yung
course, no,
policy.
correct
Policy
mismo
ng
yung
school
policy.
Kasi may
Yes,
policy ang mga schools regarding this. So that's a consideration, no? In principle, pwede naman pwede kang pumili kung anong gusto mong delivery ng class mo. Sa blended kasi merong 70-30. 70% na naka-online, 30% yung on-site sa blended. Pwede yan. Merong iba, 50-50 ang ginagawa. Pero isa lang ang modality mo, blended. Yung amount of percentage ng blending niya, yun yung nababago ni teacher. Ako kasi dati 50-50 ako. 50% online, 50% on-site sa mga estudyante ko. May mga teachers naman na mas madami silang on-site na session rather than online. Pero blended pa rin yun. Still blended.
Thank you,
Yan
Miss Jen.
sabi ko.
Maraming salamat, no. So, teachers, no, we hope to answer more of your questions. Napakadami.
Sir, last na natuwa
Okay,
lang
last
ako
na po.
sa tanong ni Sir
Sige po. Sige po.
Ramed
Isa
Borja.
pa. Last question from Miss Jen. Miss Jen would like to
Ito,
entertain.
how do we encourage seasoned teachers who are still afraid of adapting to hybrid learning and still want to stick to the traditional way of teaching? Yan. Madalas pong natatanong to sa akin. Nung unang natanong sa akin to, sabi ang nagtanong sa akin ito, teacher ko nung college. Nagbibigay ako ng workshop. Tapos teacher ko, sabi niya, Jen, magre-retire na ako. Ba't kailangan ko pong matutong gumamit ng technology? Pa-retire na ako. Naisip ko, ang hirap naman ng tanong ni ma'am. Tapos former teacher ko siya, parang pang Miss Universe. Ang una kong naisip na isagot, alam niyo po ba, ang paggamit ng technology, parang love. 'Di ba? Pag sa love age doesn't matter. So sa paggamit ng technology or sa pag-adapt sa technology, it also doesn't matter. Age doesn't matter. Yung lola ko na 72 years old, nung buhay pa siya, grade 2 lang ang tinapos na, tinuruan namin siya maglaro ng family computer, natuto siyang maglaro ng video games. So naging libangan niya yon. So ito, importante ito sir, on a much more serious note, getting everybody to join the bandwagon, yung change mindset, ito palagi yung challenge to sa mga school. How do we get everyone on board? Ang unang-unang dapat nating ipakita sa kanila na hindi mahirap tong gagawin natin. Kasi pag ginunahan natin na, ay, challenging to, mahirap to, marami kayong gagawin, hindi po lalo sila mag-a-adapt. Okay? And kailangan nating pakita sa kanila na hindi sila mapapalitan ng technology. Technology is a tool. But the real heroes and the real story behind this are the teachers and the students. The technology is there, and any hybrid, any modes of teaching delivery is there to support us to be even more effective, efficient, and more seasoned as a teachers. Kasi minsan ang reluctancy nanggagaling po sa baka mapalitan na ako ng technology. Hindi po. Hindi po tayo mapapalitan ng technology ever. Ang technology will always be our tool and our support lang yan sa atin. Tayo pa rin ang gumagawa ng mga lessons, tayo pa rin ang kumakausap sa mga estudyante, tayo pa rin, ang bida pa rin sa lahat ng ito ay ang mga teachers at mga estudyante. Hindi po yung technology. Tool lang po yan. It's a tool. Yan.
Yes, no. Maraming salamat, no. Napaka-powerful ng message na 'yon, no. Age doesn't matter, no. Talagang love pa
Yes.
din. Mahal natin ang pagtuturo at mahal natin ang ating propesyon, no. Kahit anong edad tayo, gagawa tayo ng paraan para ma-reach out natin yung mga estudyante natin. Okay, maraming salamat, no. Teacher Ramed Borja, no, for that question. Okay? Miss Jen, I think that's the last year. Baka meron po tayo. Accommodating ni Miss Jen, no? Pero again, Miss Jen, ako wala rin akong problem with that, no? Okay? And I agree no totally no Miss Jen, no. Pero sabi ko nga may isang comment actually Miss Jen kayo sa chat, no. From one of our teachers na ang nakalungkot lang ngayon Miss Jen is that the moment we step back on site, no, marami sa mga teachers natin medyo kinalimutan na rin yung paggamit ng technology that they have learned over the 2 pandemic school years. Sana hindi po, no? Kaya teachers, no?
Wag po.
Sayang, ang dami nyo natutunan, you've become better in using technology, wag iwanan. Kasi that's an additional skill, no? And definitely would
True.
leverage your capability, no, to teach in the 21st century. So sana wag
At
teachers
saka disaster-proof education.
Yes.
Ano po tayo disaster-prone country. So, we need to be proactive, we need to be ready sa lahat ng oras, at isa ang technology in education that will help us be more ready para we can continue to teach and our students can continue to learn.
Yes, Miss, no? Katulad, for example, tama si Miss Jen, no? Biglang nagkaroon ng typhoon, tapos hindi tayo
Di ba
makapagklase.
kapapasok lang last week, wala na agad pasok sa Cavite, 2 araw.
Parang example, nagkaroon ng typhoon at tapos nagkaroon tayo ng like 10 days na hindi tayo makakapasok, nasira yung classroom natin. Oh, let's go back online and then let's just continue doing what we have been doing. Teachers,
Instead
no?
of doing makeup classes, kasi di ba dati
Yeah.
makeup class tayo kahit weekends. With
Saturday
the
pa, Miss, no?
technology now, hindi na natin kailangan gawing makeup classes.
Yes.
Lagyan
Ang bilis
natin
na
online.
makapag-shift, no? Yes. Ang siguro nagiging concern ng mga teachers, Miss Jen, is that kasi naglabas ang DepEd memo, no? Which in a way, no, enforces no on-site learning for face-to-face, no, come November 2. Okay, at inisip ng mga teachers no, na never going to use hybrid anymore or online learning anymore. But the truth, teachers, is that it's here to stay. Online learning,
Yes.
hybrid learning is here to stay, no? Regardless, no, kahit mag-back full on-site pa tayo. Kasi nga sabi nga ni Miss Jen, disaster-prone country tayo. Darating ang panahon, we'll encounter things no, that will disrupt education. So let's be
At
prepared.
kailangan nating i-disaster-proof ang ating education.
Totoo, Miss.
You can
No? Totoo
follow
yan.
me on Facebook na meron po akong disaster-proof education page sa
Miss Jen,
Facebook
we have the
at
link
sa
po sa
Twitter.
private chat natin. Yes, Miss.
Yes.
Pakilagay na lang po, Miss Jen, sa chat, sa private chat po natin. I'll send it to our teachers via our
Yes,
YouTube
sir.
chat. Hintayin ko po. No? So teachers, no, please follow Miss Jen, Jen's Facebook page and also Twitter, no? Para po mas
Twitter po, disaster-proof education, and then ito po yung sa Facebook, lagay ko sir sa ating chat.
Yes. I'll be sharing
Pwede
that,
po
Miss
kayong
Jen, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Teachers, no, we'll just wait for Miss Jen, no? I think na-disconnect lang si Miss Jen. Ayan. Okay.
Yan. Parang
Hello, Miss Jen.
yung logout yata yung napindot ko. Yan.
Ayan po. I'll be sharing that, Miss Jen, no? And Miss Jen, no, ano lang tama po, no? Disaster-proof education?
Yes, opo. Ito pala, mas maganda yung link na isa.
I'm sending the link of
ito sir,
Miss
yan.
Jen. Yan.
Yung second link po, yung second link sir.
Okay. I'm sending that now to our chat teachers. Okay. Okay, so please do like and follow disaster proof education. Ano ko lang baguhin ko lang.
Sa Twitter po, yan. Meron din sa Twitter kasi kung buksan si Twitter ngayon para mabigay ko sa akin. Pero disaster proof ed.
Yan.
Natin sa Twitter.
Nagkamali ako teachers, no, disaster proof education page po, no. https://www.facebook.com/disasterproofed. Okay. Hintayin po kayo ni Miss Jen doon, ano. And of course, teachers, it's now time to send our thanks, no, to Miss Jen for the full 3 hours, no, talagang tinuloy-tuloy ni Miss Jen, ano, yung ating full 3 hours, no, and we really appreciate the time, okay?
Thank you so much, everybody.
For today. Okay? So teachers, let's send our thanks to Miss Jen's sharing her time and of course no expertise with us today. And of course, Miss Jen, kami rin po sa Kaagapay Teacher Support no would also want to send no to you our certificate of appreciation, okay? For spending this time with us, okay? So this is the certificate of appreciation, okay? This certificate of appreciation is respectfully awarded to Ms. Jen Padernal for sharing her knowledge in the recently concluded webinar entitled Definition, Principles, and Models of Hybrid Learning, awarded on August 29, 2022, signed by the administrators of Kaagapay Teacher Support, Angelo B. Malyari, Joseph Angelo M. Santos, Paula May J. Mendoza, and of course, Franco Nicolo P. Adun. So again, once again, Miss Jen, no, maraming salamat po for your time.
Maraming
no?
salamat din po. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yes. And siguro, Miss Jen, ano lang, no? huling hirit na lang. Alam ko po, no, ang dami niyo na pong sinabi, ang dami niyo na pong binigay sa amin, pero siguro po, just words of encouragement and words of, hope for our teachers who have started already, no, 2 weeks already, 1 week, okay? They just started August 25, no, with their school year 2022 to 2022.
Yeah. Laban lang po mga teachers. Huwag mawawala ng pag-asa. Alam ko po na nakakapagod paminsan, pero lagi po nating isa puso na ginagawa natin to for the future of our students. Para po ito sa mga bata, sa future ng ating bansa at sa future ng ating mga estudyante. And huwag po natin kalimutan na every day is a blessing. And every opportunity is a blessing, and we should be thankful na kahit meron tayong mga challenges, meron tayong trabaho, nakakapagturo tayo at nagagawa nating abutin ang mga estudyante kahit saan man sila nandun sulok ng ating bansa. Kasi importante na mabigyan natin sila ng access to education. That's for them. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat po, Miss Jen, no? And once again, Miss Jen, maraming salamat on behalf of the Kaagapay Teacher Support Community for gracing our community and of course sharing your time and expertise with us. God bless, and of
Thank
course, no,
you.
stay safe from COVID-19, no, and all other threats, no, of course. Maraming salamat po ulit, Miss Jen. Paalam po.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So ayan, teachers, maraming salamat, no, once again. Okay, but before I give final reminders and also maybe answer some of your questions, although I already have posted several things in our page, no, to answer some of your questions, okay? Kung meron pa rin po tayong mga katanungan about Microsoft Teams accounts, meron po akong pinost, no, sa Facebook page natin. Please do check it out para po mas mabigyan linaw yan. Okay, anyway, I'd like to invite once again, no, lalo na po sa ating mga official CPD participants, okay, for our second session on tomorrow, okay? That will be on August 30, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Our second topic will be classroom management and engagement in hybrid setup. That will be our session number 2 for tomorrow, okay? Now, teachers, okay, please, again, take note. Dito pa rin po tayo, no? YouTube live pa rin po tayo tomorrow. And we'll be joined by Miss Adelina Calub, no? Also a Microsoft Education Ambassador. Okay? Now, teachers, once again, no, some reminders, okay? For everyone, no, for the official CPD participants, okay, be sure to join the Microsoft Teams that has been set up by Microsoft PH for this event. All CPD-related information will be communicated through this team site. No? Once again, kanina po, ang dami ko pa rin po nakitang questions regarding sa not having a Microsoft Teams account or access to Microsoft Teams. Teachers, please take note that it takes time to create your accounts. Okay? So please be patient. Lalo na po dun sa mga second batch po natin ng letter of acceptance, no? So meron pa rin po talagang mga accounts na hindi pa nakikreate, okay? Especially teachers, no? Yung last confirmation natin was last week, and the second batch was sent, no, over the last Thursday or Friday. So nag-weekend po kasi, so Saturday and Sunday, tapos nag-holiday pa today. And of course, no, during those times, wala pong nag-create ng account. So ganyan pa lang po gagawin yung ibang accounts, no? So just be patient. Now, for the meantime, dun sa may mga access po sa kanilang sa ating MS Teams or Microsoft Teams, please take note of the attendance code. I-release na po namin yung attendance form, no, sa MS Teams right now, okay? And you will have to have the attendance code and unique registration code, no, for that. Sa mga wala pa pong MS Teams, just take note of the attendance code for now, okay? Hindi po kayo mawawala ng attendance. Okay? Ang attendance form po natin ay extended, no, until all accounts have been created. Yan po yung promise namin, okay? So hindi po yan i-close hanggat hindi po na ipapadala lahat ng accounts, no, as much as possible, okay? Now, the evaluation form at the end of the session is optional, okay? Now, for the non-CPD participants, okay, complete the evaluation form at the end of the session to qualify for the certificate of participation. So yes, may mga nagtatanong po kanina, what if hindi ako CPD participant? What can I get? You will get a certificate of participation, okay? Pero teachers, please take note, no? Certificate of participation will be sent September 1 pa, okay? Pagkatapos na po ng event natin. You can apply at the end of the series of a certificate of completion for completing all sessions, no? So aside from certificate of participation, pwede ring magkaroon ng certificate of completion yung non-CPD participants po natin if you completed all the events. Okay? Para po meron kayong certificate that reflects 15 hours of training. Kasi alam ko po, no, yun ang hinahanap minsan sa mga schools for ranking or for yung mga portfolio po natin. Okay? So teachers, I hope that's clear, no? Again, for other things, I will communicate more information via the page since hindi ko po masagot lahat, no, sa chat right now. Okay? Pero sasagutin ko po yan sa page natin, teachers. No? I will post information and reminders, no, via our chat. Okay? Via our Facebook page po. Okay? So teachers, ito na po ang ating attendance code for official CPD participants. That's GYTPE4NB. Okay? And of course, for our non-CPD participants, ito naman po ang ating evaluation link. Evaluation link is at https://tinyurl.com/cpd03s01. Okay? So yan po, teachers, no? Okay? Now, while you're at that, teachers, please let me know if it's working and if you can access the form. I will also be checking that on my end. Okay? And while I'm at that, no, I'm also going to try to entertain some questions pa din po. Now, teachers, for a while, no, let's check lang po yung evaluation link. No? I think there's a problem with it's working naman po. Working na. Okay, na-confirm na rin po, no? So, both are working. Okay, so teachers, once again, no, again, for the CPD participants, that's your attendance code, okay? The attendance form is in the MS Teams, okay? But once again, kung hindi pa po kayo nakakakuha ng kanyang MS Teams account, no, yung pong temporary MS Teams account, no, provided by the Microsoft PH, just take note of the attendance code for now. Isulat muna siguro sa notebook, ilagay sa phone. You can take your attendance next time. Okay? Okay, lalagay ko po ulit, teachers, no, yung reminders. Okay? Baba ko lang to. Yan. So, teachers, that should answer some of your questions. Teacher Richie Paul Aladio, no, ano nyo lang, i-buffer nyo lang po. Teacher Risa, paki-take note na lang po ang ating message, no, sa screen natin. Okay.
Kaya nagtatanong sila ng unique registration.
Hmm? Teachers, sa mga nagtatanong po tungkol sa unique registration code para sa mga CPD participants, Nasa letter nyo po yun. Okay? Pakibasa po ng ating letter completely hanggang sa baba. Okay? Thank you, teachers. And teachers, paalam po. Sige po, we will again send more reminders via our Facebook page para po masagutat namin yung mga ibang inquiries niyo po. Okay, so once again, teachers, maraming salamat and thank you for joining our session for today. We'll see you again tomorrow for the second installment of our hybrid learning powered by Microsoft. As I always say, please stay safe from COVID-19 and stay negative from COVID-19, but please stay positive in life, teachers. Okay, paalam po and have a great day, teachers. Have a great evening po pala.
po.